Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. What episode are we on right now? I think episode 57. This is the
Christ.
They Heard You episode. We'll get more into that because come on now. If you're anywhere around the gaming community, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to get into that. I'm your host, Mr. K. Asante. Twitter, Facebook, all those places, you know where to find me. I already see a bunch of favorite people already pulling up. $59.99. What's going on, General Mac? How you doing, sir?
You said favorite people. That must mean Slow-Mo's not here yet.
Oh, stop the slander already. And of course, not to be outdone, my man, the man who's out here always dropping all these news bombs on people. Always making sure that they take their shoes with their bit of news. Mr. Everborn Saga, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Those shoes are free.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, they are. The question is, do you want them?
Listen, if they fit, maybe you should put them on. That's all.
Maybe you should wear them. Okay. So, I at the beginning of the show, as we do, thank you everybody for
Al Bundy of the gaming community.
You know what? Let me take that back. Actually, you know what? I have heard some people call us the bad boys of the gaming community, and I'm not one to give myself a nickname, but I think that is very funny, so I like that one.
When you say bad boys, do you mean like Will and Martin bad boys?
Yes, yes, that's what they've done.
There's some people
I've had my bad moment a few times,
Okay.
And we all have seen Mr. Everborn Saga, in his nicest way possible, either on the show or on Spaces, walk up on stage and say, "Keep my wife Sonic's name out your mouth," and then backhand somebody. So verbally, of course, verbally. So I like that bad boys of gaming reference. I think that's cool. Jesus. So come on now, you've done it. I've seen you do it many times.
No, I had the reset era was asking why Sonic was so popular today. Despite putting out all these bad games, and I just had to say, you need to mind your own damn business. Reset era.
I saw you do that. Yes,
I saw the Will Smith when you keep putting out this false information.
I saw the Will Smith Chris Rock meme play out right before my eyes. Like I saw that on Twitter. So there you go. I think your title is apt. But anyway, welcome everybody. I see Mr. Joanna Dark is in here. I even see Ham Solo pulled up early. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. John Wolf, welcome. All these great people that always tend to join us on the weekends. Get your weekend started right. Let us get started early, as we always do, with the games that we have been playing. I know there's a lot going on, and this week we have so much to talk about that we probably won't spend too much time on that because we don't want to, we don't want this to be a 5-hour show, right? We don't want that. We like a brisk 2-hour show, 2.5, right? And if you really want more, Pong and Steel Rain are at it right now, and you can go catch them as soon as we're done here. So we'll give you that first 2 hours, and then they can finish you off.
Somewhere in there that deserves a pause. Yes, thank you. But Mrs. Joanna Dark says Everborn is paying people off to keep Sonic relevant. Listen, Mr. Joanna Dark, the palms have already been greased. You goddamn right, I'm paying people off. But anyway,
indeed. So let us start with the games we've been playing. You, for the video viewers, you're seeing Midnight Fight Express on my screen. Mr. Everborn Saga, I asked you, as we know, Mr. Everborn developer, working through beat 'em ups these days. He's still working on that. We may have some more conversation about that coming up. But I asked you to check this out. If nothing else, just to inform the genre that you're currently working in. You said you put a few hours in. Not a few hours. How long have you played this, by the way?
I don't know, half hour.
Okay. So I just kind of wanted to, because when this whole thing started, this game, by the way, dropped right at the beginning of Gamescom and all that. So I was worried that maybe not enough people might give it the attention it deserves. So what's your opinion?
Why Gamescom is great. I mean, it's interesting. I haven't gotten far enough in it because I see that like you can get guns and start using those. So I really am still like on the rooftops. So I haven't put enough time into it to make an informed decision, but I really like it for what it is and what it's trying to do, and I love that we're getting so much of this, right?
I see this as the evolution of Bad Dudes. I see this as the evolution of Double Dragon.
I don't know if I'd say Double Dragon now.
Really? Because this is literally Double Dragon, but instead of side scrolling, it's on an axis.
No. I'm just saying, like, in the last 2 years, we've had Streets of Rage 4, we've had Sifu, we've had Shredder's Revenge, which is amazing.
See,
same thing with Streets of Rage, and now we have
I would say, and recall them again. We had Streets of Rage 4, which was Streets of Rage 4, which is an evolution into a franchise that basically created the genre. Well, it was a strong part of the genre back in its heyday. So I'll give Streets of Rage the credit it deserves, 100%. On the TMNT front, they literally just made another, nothing I'm saying here is discounting those games, because they are, very well accolade deserving games that I enjoyed the hell out of. Streets of Rage, TMNT, all of that. So I'm not saying that they don't deserve the shine that they got. The reason why for me anyway, the reason why this seems to hit a little different is that, and even Sifu, the reason why it hits a little different for me on this than any of the others is, and Sifu to a lesser extent, because that also can kind of form work within this frame. It's like they took the genre, that OG Bad Dudes, River City Rampage formula, and evolved that exact formula. Sifu went more 3D, went more, hey, what if this was AAA almost, right? I can see this. This is, to me, this is what it would look like if you took that Double Dragon aesthetic and kept evolving it exactly as it was, right? It's the same thing. It's just the camera's pulled back. You can even, and I think the reason why I think I think that comparison is even more apt is because, as you can see, it's not even that detailed, right? It's a little bit light on the detail. It's a little bit light. It's not that real intricate, next level, detail oriented. It's almost like, hey, this could play on the next evolution of the Nintendo Entertainment System, to be able to play your next evolution of this kind of game, which I thought was real quaint. It all worked in its style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so for me, I just want to come back to the TMNT point real quick. What is super interesting to me about Streets of Rage 4 and Shredder's Revenge is that the 2D beat 'em up had died. It was
it was dead. It was in the grave.
And now it seems very popular. And I do not want to discount, because I especially since the Steam Deck, but there are a few games that I play just every year. One of them is, One of them is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I literally just play that on emulation probably once a year, just because. But another one is Turtles in Time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't call TMNT a classic because you keep playing them, Right. They're not gone. They're still very relevant today.
But before Joanna Dark says jumps in, I'm still playing Sonic, old Sonic games.
Here we go.
But my thing is, Shredder's Revenge is doing significantly more than TMNT did in terms of complexity of combat.
Oh yeah, of course. They evolved the formula, yeah.
Right. They do ring the same bells, so it feels the way you remember playing it. Yep. But if you actually go back and playing it,
it's totally different.
It's so much more. It's so much more complex.
Remember the game I showed you that you said you weren't into, Proteus? Same concept. It looks old. It makes you feel like you're watching an old thing, but go back to that old thing and see how it reminds you. You go, wow, that's not how it looked. This is so much better. Same. It's they're rekindling nostalgia while still throwing modern aesthetics into it as well, which I really appreciate.
And I especially and I can say this with my whole chest, because working on a 2D beat 'em up right now, I can see all the complexities of what they're doing in TMNT. And you may think you're just smashing those buttons, but you're not. And there's so much going on.
There's so much more to it.
Take my hat off to those guys.
I hope you play more of this, because as you were saying to me before, there is a button mashy kind of aesthetic, a feel to it at the beginning. But as you can see, if you're watching a bit of the beginning here, there's a lengthy tutorial at the beginning where they just like share with you all the things you could potentially do, all the weapons you could pick up, all the there's environmental damage you can do. There's just so much that you can do.
Okay. I don't know if this is a technical or a theoretical question, but
Please.
How do you feel about getting all that information up front instead of as you play? Because for me, I just kind of want to rush past it. They do this in Shredder's Revenge as well, where they say, and it's like 16 screens of all the different things you can do. But I'm like, I'm not going to remember all this. Don't you feel like it's better for them to introduce you to that over time, just as a design technique? I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
No, I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying, and there is something to be said about that. Like you, I haven't put enough time in this game. I'm I think 4 stages. I'm further than you are, but like I would still like to see them.
He's like, I'm past you though.
I would still like to see them, remind you every once in a while of the various options you have available to you, because that's one thing, and that seems to be a theme these days in the indie space. Systems upon systems, they just keep throwing more at you, right? So when they throw puzzles at you, like here, look at this one right here, for instance. There's a button called focus, and when you press that focus button, it slows down time, and for a moment it helps you deal with a lot of enemies on screen at a time. Perfect idea. Like every single idea they have brought out here, I went, wow, that's just inspired. Obviously, duh, right? It's perfect. Some of them don't even some of them have been introduced into the genre first by this game, although it's tried and true, bullet time kind of stuff, right? But as you go along, you forget some of these. So I'm like 3 levels in, and I'm just like working it, and all of a sudden I'm like, duh, what happened to the focus? I could have been like way better optimized, way better, killing dudes way better, way more style if I use that focus. But it's like another system you have to remember. In addition to the grab that weapon, oh yeah, there's the big guy who you have to whittle down their guard. So maybe throw something at them first and then hit him in the knees before, there's just a lot of systems in play on this. And as it gets confusing sometimes, it's also super impressive that these indies want to just throw so much at a quote unquote little project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, William, this is Midnight Fight Express.
Midnight Fight Express. Yes. I apologize. Yes, I saw that message. Yeah.
So
yeah, right. I think this is amazing. It is this game, just like I threw so much praise on Cult of the Lamb. I think this game deserves the same amount of praise for different reasons. But again, it's all about that indie spirit. It's all about, throwing so much into what you would just think as, it's a little bit, it's a beat 'em up. Yeah, they have environmental puzzles you have to be aware of. You could pick up weapons. There's just so much. I think there's even transportation stage with bikes and things. There is just a lot here. So I think if you haven't played it, as it tends to be, it's on Game Pass. But even if it's not on Game Pass, it is worth your ducats in my humble opinion. And I suspect many in the chat here agree with me, because I've seen some of y'all playing as well. So yes, shout out to y'all. What have you been playing, Everborn Saga? What? I know you've been busy. I know you're still in research mode. Anything new? You were telling me about a new game. Go ahead
yes,
and tell the fine people.
Islets. I think that's how you pronounce it. ISLETS.
Okay.
Super interesting 2D platformer. It's a Metroidvania. I actually reached out to the developer on this in the DM. Because he's doing a lot of super interesting things that maybe we'll talk about later. We'll see. We'll see how I go. But I would love to collaborate with him on some things. We'll just say that. We'll see if he has the time. But he did respond. He's dealing with the launch now, so maybe we'll talk after. We'll see. But super interesting if you're into Metroidvania games, and it's a beautiful game, and the way the combat works, it's I don't want to call it like an Ori kind of thing, but it is really good, and the music is the score is super strong, made by 2 guys. I think they're brothers. One's doing the music, one's doing.
Always love to hear
the rest of it.
Indie space,
indie game, but like if you're a 2D platformer guy like me, check this out. It's only $20. It's actually super addictive. I have to put it down. I've been playing it on Steam Deck. I put it on the PC today just to.
Every time you say that, I feel like going, my work here is done, good sir.
Your work's far from done, sir. You, as a matter of fact, you clocked in late. You need to get back to work if you want to finish that job. But I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's you know, we don't get as many of those 2D platformers as I would like, and when we do get them, not everything gets the same shine as Ori did. So I implore you, if you like 2D platformers, this is one of the better ones out there right now.
I'll definitely. I need to check that out.
Yeah, I wish I had a combo system. It doesn't. It seems like it's a regular attack, but I'm early in the game, so you know maybe that comes because it's weird, right? Like, so when you can get things and then choose what you want to unlock, so you can increase your health or get more shots on your
basically
arrow.
It's points that you get, and you decide where you dole it.
Right.
Dole it out to. Okay.
Right. And it's different every time because I got 2 different upgrades, and the 3 stats that I could update were different both times.
Okay. I definitely will check it out. And for those who aren't aware of the game, if you want to see more about it, most likely I'll buy it and have some video footage for you guys about it next week. You know, gotta check out these indies. Let me switch up to and we're not gonna spend too much time on this because, like I said, we have a lot to discuss. But let me switch up to another game that I have been playing this week. It's an older game. And it came to Game Pass on PC, and I had to play it again.
Oh,
and
boy,
y'all gonna clown me. Go ahead. I will give you a minute or two to clown me. If you don't already recognize the game, go ahead, Everboard. What am I playing right now? Come on.
What is this?
You should see exactly what this is just by seeing the lady holding a baby. Come on now.
Yeah, I figured it was this. I didn't remember that lady.
Yes.
I didn't play this the first time because it never looked interesting.
Okay. So I am playing Death Stranding. I have put about this run. I've put about 5 hours into it so far. The last time I think I put about 10 hours in, and at some point I think I was on PS4, and eventually I just kind of and then I don't know what happened. Maybe another game came in and took my attention away or something. But believe it or not, you know, it is a very weird and interesting game. The game mechanics themselves, you know, you've heard people talk about it many times, right? Either you love it or you hate it. It's weird or it's great. Yes, the first 5 minutes I have to take a shower, and this is what you get. Like, as soon as you get in there, you got to take a bath. And you're for those who don't know, forgive me, I'm putting the cart before the horse. For those who don't know, Death Stranding is a very intricate story with a lot of mystery. But at its fundamental core, when you strip away all the mystery and all the intrigue and all the very interesting dialogue and people looking at each other, pregnant pauses, and you're just like, what? You're just a FedEx guy delivering packages. That's what you're doing. And the moment to moment, it sounds like very clowning to say so, but the moment to moment is basically traversing this land and making sure that you're able to get from point A to point B without somebody stealing your stuff, without weird, crazy monsters coming and killing you. It's very interesting. You know, I can understand that there are a lot of people who love with a capital L this game. And there are people who just scratch their heads and go, what the heck is all of this, right? There is just so much weirdness to it. A quick aside, what you're looking at on your screen right now, that's a BB called a Bridge Baby. Yeah, that's right. Bridge Baby. Why is it called the Bridge Baby?
Hey, take over for a second. I got to run downstairs, do some adulting things. Be right back.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
I'm listening in the background, though.
Yep. He is called the Bridge Baby because he died before he was born. And as such, he is a bridge between the living and the dead. And for some reason, you are able to use him as a tool to then sense when dead things are are close to you. Again, like I said, the last time I played this, I was maybe double digit, maybe 10 hours in. Now I'm about 5 hours in. This is the PC game that I'm playing. And I gotta say, you know, if it ends and it's all like, you know, dun dun dun, dun, you know, the sad trombone, I will obviously say so. But it's an intriguing story. And the moment to moment gameplay of, you know, you're basically trying to traverse this land and keeping the package, and it's really interesting. It really is. And I get it. You know, Hideo Kojima brings about a lot of narratives, right? just by the very nature of him being here in a game. Either you love it or you hate it. It's weird, it always leaves you wanting more as far as answering questions and things like that. But for what I have played so far, and I know I keep caveating it that way, it is pretty interesting. I hear it's many, many, many hours, and I probably think it will be, you'll hear me on here say, hey, it's not what I thought it was, a couple more hours in. But so far, when it's to me, it's not the type of game that I am like head over heels. I got to play more. I got to get back in. It's not that type of game, but it's more the type of game when you've had your run, when you played that really fun game that's taking all your attention away right now, when you need that palate cleanser before you go somewhere else. I seem to think that it's kind of zen. I really do like it. And then I started getting into more of the world where you'd see like people trying to come and steal your packages, and that you're sneaking up on them. And then I start getting more Metal Gear vibes, because obviously same developer, right? So you start seeing Metal Gear vibes where you can sneak up on people and then tie them up and stuff. It's really it's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder how this game would have fared in a vacuum where the whole narrative of PlayStation and Kojima wasn't part of the equation. People have a genuine love for the game, and I can see why. So I have definitely been playing this right now. Folks in the chat, if you have been playing it, obviously this is an older game. I know some people are dedicated Xbox folks, dedicated PlayStation folks, or PC folks. If you had a chance to check this out, tell me, is it good? Is it worth sticking with? Should I jump off now, or is it worth my time? What I want to know is, what's up with the masks and stuff and the weird names? Like, I know it's Kojima. He does a lot of interesting weird things, but I just need to know, why are there weird names like Deadman and like a dude who literally is the secretary to the president, but is walking around with a skull mask all day? Like, will they explain that to me eventually, or is that just kind of one of those things I should just pretend is what it is and keep it moving? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, and Die Hardman. Like really? Like, come on. Like, very weird names in this game, which of course is part and parcel of Koji's a special brand of narrative. But I hope there's an explanation for it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that ultimately you get to the end and they go, well, this is why all this stuff was so weird. This is why we're in an alternate timeline or some craziness. Why is it that I have this cufflink on? They're supposed to share me all this data, but I also kind of use it as a what do you call it? Handcuffs to lock myself up when I'm going to bed. Am I like, when I'm sleeping, am I supposed to be like escaping or something? Like, there's just a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to this game, which I guess is a good thing, right? Because it'll keep you playing, it'll keep you interested. So for me, so far it's been quite interesting. It's been quite interesting. But okay, let us move on, because there's a lot to talk about. And I know Mr. Everborn Saga is not quite here yet. We will get to. Well, I'll make sure that I make sure that I'll touch base with him when he gets in and get his thoughts on it as well. But before we get there, let us start with some of the news we've been talking about. Let me share some of the news stories we're doing here. We'll start off with, of course, we're starting off with Gamescom. Now, before we get into it hot and heavy, there's been a lot of games that have been announced, both in Gamescom and out of Gamescom, during the Gamescom phase, if you will. So for those out there, if there's a game I haven't brought up, or a game that you saw that you thought not enough people paid attention to, throw it in the chat. If I can't find it in this article, maybe I'll find a trailer for it, and we'll have a quick conversation about it. But there's just so much to discuss about this stuff that I don't think I'll be able to cover everything. So I'm just going to kind of hit some of the highlights that I saw and I thought was very interesting. And hopefully Everborn Saga will join us soon, and he can give us what he thought was interesting as well. But please, again, put it in the chat. Let us know what you think. How many folks in this chat right now are man babies? And when I say man babies, I mean people who are not the hugest fan of being scared in video games. I consider myself a man baby when it comes to that. And you know what made me a man baby? Resident Evil 5. I'm sorry, Resident Evil 7. 7 made me a man baby. Played that in VR. Stopped me. It cured me of all horror games moving forward. I feel like I probably can never play another horror game ever again. specifically not in VR. Definitely not that. But yeah, Resident Evil 7 really, really did something to me in VR. And since that time, you know, I played Resident Evil 8, but I kind of looked at Resident Evil 8 more like an action game with some scary stuff in it. That wasn't as big a deal. 7 was a little horrific. But so now we have something like Callisto Protocol going on here. So because of Resident Evil 7, though, it's kind of making me a little apprehensive. As much as I appreciate, as much as I'm loving what I'm seeing, as much as I'm thinking, wow, they're really going, you know, to the next level with Callisto Protocol and all that. I don't know if I'll be playing. You know. Oh, and by the way, this is not Callisto Protocol. This is everywhere. Callisto was the thing on the screen for the first thing, but I'm not sure I will be day one Callisto Protocol because I kind of feel like it's going to give me a bit of Resident Evil 7 vibes. I don't know. Like, please tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I don't even know what you're talking about, but you're wrong.
Uh-huh. Oh, so you're going to be playing day one Callisto Protocol. Day one. You did.
Absolutely, day one.
Absolutely. Okay. You are far stronger than I am, sir. Because what did it for me on this one was they broke the cardinal video game rule. If I shoot your head off and your head comes off in a puddle of goo, you don't come at me. Your head's off. I'm sorry.
Are you too scared to play this?
I am a man, baby. I will admit it freely.
Wow.
I will gladly admit it. You know what? I was telling the audience, you know what did this to me? Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Wow.
Resident Evil 7 in VR cured me of this kind of game. I'm sorry.
Soft.
Especially, call me soft, baby. Call me. I am Sherman's. It's all good.
Let me ask you a question. And maybe we've been spoiled by, I don't know, Last of Us or whatever it is. Do you feel like, how do you feel about the animations on this, especially when he's like falling down the you know, the water thing?
Yep.
Do you feel like the animations aren't enough variations in some of the things he's doing?
Well, okay. So I hear what you're saying. I will not.
And before anybody goes crazy in the chat, this is like one of my most anticipated of the year. It is amazing by all accounts. I'm just trying to have a discussion.
Yes. Captain Key's the man, baby.
I'm just trying to have a discussion, like an actual discussion from someone who loves what they've seen. I just wonder.
No, I hear you. No.
When they showed the gameplay, right. the animations didn't. I don't know if they felt like up to today's standards.
Yes, and I guess what you're seeing there is what you're judging is a game that's been made for multiple devices versus a game that was very honed in for the PlayStation, right? And you're right. I'm pretty sure you will be right. Now, obviously, we can't really be a full judge of
like this specifically. Like they're looping that bobbing
over and over and over. Yes, and I was after this all was said and done. I actually Asa from Game On Daily. Shout out to the Game On Daily crew. I was talking to him about this game, and he was saying that this cured him of it. He didn't kind of doesn't want to do this because he was interested, but then he saw this long looping thing. And then at the end, it's a quick time event. If you miss it, you lose it, and you have to start at the top. That is very annoying. Like, you know, this right here is way too long and doesn't seem too entertaining. And you're right. From an animation perspective, it's not interesting. You know, I think maybe they just wanted an end to the trailer. You know, again, we shouldn't judge it fully until it's like it's out there and everybody can see it for all it's worth. But I got to say, you know, it didn't excite me, you know. Although, let's be absolutely clear. If this game ultimately becomes a game that I only touch for a few hours and never play again, it is still gets all the respect in the world because we as gamers have always been on that train of, hey, games aren't just for kids, and this is literally the culmination of that. This is the most adult.
And the fact that we're getting this and the Dead Space remake in
such a is what a time to be alive, right? What a time. So, okay.
All right, what other games did you discuss? What did I?
I just started with Callisto because I saw that trailer first, and I'm just like, it looks great. I'm looking like I'm gonna totally not play this game because it's just like,
I'm definitely.
And shout out to Mr. Gerald Mack. He's spooked too. I'm sorry. Look, it's good to admit it, man. I'm spooked. Can't do that. When I shoot you ahead and it's off and you're still coming at me, no, I'm done with you. No.
Yeah. Fred Wright, the answer to that question is no, sir, not in the slightest, but still highly anticipated.
Okay, we'll get to Sonic because Sonic is also on the list. Sonic is definitely on the list. But again, we're gonna breeze through these because we have 4 topics to discuss, and each of the 4 topics could be its own show for about 4 hours plus. So we're not gonna get too deep into the Michigas. But if there's something we forget, something that you want us to discuss, something that we failed to bring up, please don't hesitate. Pop it in the chat. Say hey, question for you guys. I'll catch it and I'll make sure that we discuss it. But let's move on. Did you see this everywhere thing? I honestly think it reminded me of like
I didn't know. I don't know what it was. Is it like they said they're adding 7 games to it?
It seems like it's like a WYSIWYG game maker.
All right, I don't care.
So it seems like a WYSIWYG game maker, kind of like Dreams, for PlayStation. But like, look at all the things that you could potentially make. It seems like it's very, very detailed. I always respect these things. I can never make them myself, because I don't have that mental energy for it these days. This used to be me when I was a kid, not so much now, but it's so awesome that these things exist and that kids can do that. I was just telling, and by the way, a quick aside from what we've been playing on the same topic, I was just telling you how I've been playing, what do you call it? What's it called? Game Maker Garage. And that is a Switch game. You could call it a game, but it's really more like a Game Maker WYSIWYG editor that my daughter is really interested in, and she wants to start learning how to make games. So that's what I've been showing her. So this seems to be in that line where, hey, you may not understand the full code, you may not know the ramifications of what everything does. So instead, we're doing it they're using more an Unreal kind of WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get kind of approach to it. Very interesting, and this seems to have some kind of. It's speaking that language as well. Project. What was the Microsoft one? Project Spark, right? That seems like the idea here.
But that Project Spark didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, Project Spark didn't get anywhere. Well, actually, I hear Project Spark will ultimately get its day to shine, because that will be what you see when finally Halo Forge releases. But
Yeah, people are doing some super interesting things in Forge.
Yeah,
I see Megatron is in the chat. What's going on, brother?
Welcome, sir. Welcome. What did you think of this Dune Awakening thing?
Okay, well, we don't. Firstly, I will say
let's wait till
it was only a CG, but it looked better than the movie.
Stop.
Fight me.
Okay,
but
I'll say slow-mo's not in here yet, so no. And this dude,
because Paul Atreides actually looks like a man here.
Give me a sec.
Instead of a
I think the guy who's the model mocap of this is an actor. I don't know, like as soon as I saw this trailer, I was like, I know this face. I've seen this face before. What's the name of the damn show? There was a TV show based off of, oh darn it, Silence of the Lambs. Recent show. Had Mads Mikkelsen's in it. Mads Mikkelsen. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Are you talking about the
Mads Mikkelsen.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs TV show.
Yeah.
Right?
It was.
There was a doctor that he was
yes.
manipulating.
Yes.
That doctor he was manipulating. That's the voice, the visual actor for this. The visual model.
Are you sure about that?
Same dude. Looks the same.
I don't think so.
He has the same face. I might be wrong, but the first when I saw him, like, yo, is that the dude? Anyway,
of course, I say Dune is trash. And
I was about to say. By the way, he says Dune is trash. And Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap just had to jump in the chat.
Slow-Mo is like the Candyman of Dune slander.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. And welcome Beast Mode 10. The show was called Hannibal. Thank you, sir. Yes. The co-star to Hannibal. Look him up. I could be wrong, but it looks exactly like this dude here. Anyway, let us move on. I was super excited to see this because it looked really awesome. And then they said it was an MMO, and I was like, I guess I'm not that excited.
Well, I don't know. Let's see, because Destiny's an MMO, so they could get it right.
Destiny's not an MMO, and even if Destiny's an MMO, do you play Destiny?
I used to until I realized the jig was up. I have several hundred hours in Destiny.
Believe it or not, I didn't think I was a Destiny stan until that whole Microsoft Museum thing where you put your ID in and it tells you how many hours you're playing.
How many hours you wasted.
Yeah, I am a Destiny stan. I played that on 360. I played that on Xbox. Like, I played that so much. It's insane. I didn't even know it until Microsoft told me so, So, okay, let us move on and have a quick discussion about this DualSense Edge controller.
You mean the DualSense Elite?
Right? Yeah. We've said it a million times and we'll continue to say it. Never ever listen to what PlayStation says. Just look at what Microsoft has done, because chances are you'll know exactly what PlayStation is about to do. Yeah, 2 years ago, you'll see what PlayStation is about to do. And I'm not mad at them for it, right? I'm not mad at them. Just like people like some of the haptic features that are out there now, and they're like, hey, Microsoft, why don't you copy some of that? I like the fact that finally PlayStation sees they have a controller worthy of making an Elite version of. Because let's be real, up until now, none of their controllers have been worthy of making an Elite version of. I will say, I'm interested in this. We'll see the price and of course, being that we've heard what they've done with their other products, we'll see how much this goes for. But I'm looking forward to checking it out. What do you think? Will you be possibly looking into it, or
I don't know if I play, and like I had the first Elite controller, and then I gave it to my nephew, and then I've been wanting to get the second one, but I don't want to lose the share button. So I kind of feel like I've been waiting for the Elite 3 so that it has all the share and the dynamic input latency and all that. And so
the dynamic input latency has been patched in now, though. They have a recent patch that actually did the dynamic input latency, which is fine. But the share button, you're right.
Even though sharing on the Xbox is admittedly trash, but that's neither here nor there.
But if you really cared about sharing, you could actually do like a shift share. Like you could do like a shift button and then it turned into a share. You can customize that. But no, having a share button right on the screen is easy peasy. Yeah. Let them remake the whole capture share thing. Get rid of all of this. I don't want you to hit me with a share button when your sharing process is trash anyway. I'm sorry.
Now, the other thing is, I don't know, because I only play on PlayStation when they release one of their exclusives. So I don't know if I play enough on PlayStation to warrant me getting a $250 controller there. But if you main on PlayStation, no. I would recommend.
Don't move on from that, because the chat already started on that path. John Wolf asked, price prediction, $250 for this controller.
And they will pay it.
And I guess you believe that you're on that train too, huh? $250.
You know what? Can we show them the T-shirt? I want to show the T-shirt to the chat.
Are we gonna go there? Find me the link. Find me the link.
And I will send you the link, sir.
Find me the link, sir. Yes.
God damn it.
This was $180, and it was way too expensive. Well, okay. Obviously, value being subjective. This is, but to me, the best. Even now, even with the DualSense being as good as it is now, and let's be real, the DualSense is great now, right? This is still, to me, the best controller you can buy. Now, if they take the DualSense and they add the stuff that makes this great to that, hey, I think it's worth it. But $250, if that's where we're going, oh yeah, I'll wait for a deal on that one. That's just way too much. Power to the payers. Oh no, here we go. They're starting that narrative early again.
They got it.
Yes, indeed. I do see what they got. I do think it's interesting that they're in that market now. If it's good, if there's a deal, I might get one. We shall see. Anyone interested in Lords of the Fallen?
Well, if you've actually looked at Lord of the Fallen, the first one, go look it up. A lot of people are saying, including Slow-Mo, that they did not show any gameplay, so he's not excited. But look at what the first Lords of the Fallen is. It's like third person over the shoulder action adventure RPG. And this is going to be a next gen version of that. What's the problem? I'm excited. I didn't need to see more.
I think folks don't have history with Lords of the Fallen, so they assume it'd be something more than it actually is. Yeah, I think folks don't have that history. So just a quick aside, if you want to support the cause, today's episode is brought to you by Charge Them More.
Right, and it is normally
it's on a deal. See, normally
it used to be $69.99, and we know you're very happy to pay that. But today, for the low price, you can get this Charge Them More T-shirt for $29.99, and And if you get this, you may get a discount on the next T-shirt that we release, which is Charge Me More. And that you can only buy in euros for $5.49.
Yeah, so we're going to do the conversion as well.
Yes.
We're going to do the conversion as well. Fantastic, man. So yes, get yourself, and that's not even a joke. Like, it's in the chat. No joke. You can go to Everborn Saga right now to go to the Everborn Saga channel and get you to Charge Them More t-shirt. I want to see somebody on the net with that shirt. I'll be so pleased if I see that happen. So yes,
I'm just saying. Hold on, Slow-Mo. I am just saying they said that it's an action RPG, so we know that. We know what the previous one looks like, and it's not like one of those games where they show you this. It's not people. It's just Slow-Mo. It's not one of those games where they show you this amazing CG trailer and then it turns out to be this turn-based.
I get it. So what you're saying is people are upset that they only showed the CG trailer.
Slow-Mo's upset.
I mean, if you're going to be upset about that, then I would have been more upset by like Midnight Suns, because that game was doing it in a malicious fashion, not showing you what the gameplay would literally be.
Can you go to the link? Just go to this and view this on YouTube.
This one? Okay, sure.
Yes.
Let's go.
And then go to the description.
All right. So what you're looking for?
All right. What does that say?
Dark fantasy action RPG.
Action RPG, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but come on now. You can just because they say it's an action RPG doesn't automatically mean that it's like Diablo camera level and teeny tiny.
But you have a reference from the first one. It's not like they're going to change.
True, that's the point. Now them saying it's an action RPG, I'm not with you on that. But you having a reference from the first one, 100%. You
have a reference from the first one, and they said this is an action RPG. So yes,
that's true.
I just think it's fine for them to show a CG trailer for the.
No, I see what you mean. I see, but I do also understand.
Slow-Mo said he was elected to lead, not to read, so he didn't want to read the description of the trailer.
Stop! Come on, bro. Okay. That's just too much. That is just too much. Oh, I see Deepka in here. Sorry, bro. Yes, I know he's saying it's unfortunate we're back to the morning show. He always ends up missing. I apologize. Yeah, we did it at night because, and pause on that, because life happens. We unfortunately we couldn't make it happen during the day, so we ended up switching to the night show. But we find it's usually better this way because you get it out the way and then you can go on being adulting and hanging out with the kids and whatnot. So unfortunately, we do tend to like the daytime, the morning time show. But hey, you probably will see a few more nighttime shows from us as the days progress and things change. But yes, so I do see both sides of the house on this one. I think I would have been a bit more accepting of the CG trailer if this was the first outing of this game. But like you said, there is a reference point, so why not just show the game? Just show the game. Like, people have seen it. There's a whole version of the first one. Unless you're changing the style of the way the game is played with this new iteration, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they're going full third person, over the shoulder kind of a style, because they can do that in the action RPG. Haven't showed anything about this.
We have some people pretending they're going to show us this trailer and that it's going to be like As Dusk Falls. Like, that's not what we're going to get.
No, that's definitely not the case. Yeah, 100%. Definitely not the case. And like I said, if I'm upset about anything, I don't like the whole CG-ness of things. Like, to me, something like Midnight Suns was really egregious, right? And yes, man, I am still using that Opera browser. I still
have not seen gameplay for Midnight Suns.
Oh, bro, it's terrible. I am using the Opera browser because if I'm not using that Opera browser, everyone will be stuck on Chrome forever, and I refuse to live in that world. Someone needs to use the Opera browser. I also use Firefox as well, so there you go. Anyway, so let us move quickly along. Yeah,
and then somebody's going to say, I don't use Chrome, I use Edge, and then you're going to look at them in the background like,
Yeah, just like they go, I don't like Microsoft products, I just use Windows. Good for you, sir. Anyway, did you see this Hogwarts Legacy stuff?
I have never been interested in this game.
I have
hold on a minute, but I do need to I need to add a clarifier. I've never been interested in Harry Potter. I've only seen the last 2 movies. I am a 40-year-old man.
Okay.
And I was right at the age where I didn't care about this stuff when it started coming out. So you show me some Lord of the Rings stuff and it's the same game, I'm all there. Harry Potter has just never done anything for me. I don't know about Slytherins and
even now,
all of this other even now. And this game itself, it doesn't look that appealing. I don't know that. I don't know. It's not working for me. But I understand, like, I know people have like this emotional connection to it, and they're probably hitting all the right notes if you know the lore to Harry Potter, but I don't. So this just looks like a regular generic game to me.
Shout out to Biggie Butters. He's on your train. I'm with you a little bit. I also aged out right when this thing became a thing, but I did read some of the books and I have seen all of the movies. I'm not the Hogwarts stan that many have. I've been to Disney World. I've seen seen what they've done there. I like the stories. It's interesting. I most likely will read it for my daughter and my son, but like, I don't think, oh my God, I need to play this immediately. What I will say though, when I saw this trailer, it really does look like, for whatever it is, even if you come to this without any prior knowledge of the source material, it does look like they spent a lot of time and energy on the systems and on the details and on the school and on that
exclusive quest that they're giving to the PlayStation.
Yeah, let's speak a little bit on that.
Let me say,
how do we feel about that?
Well, again, you have to take this as somebody who didn't care about the game in the first place. But
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Apologies, Erodimus. Yes, it's Harry Potter, not Disney. I live in Florida. They're literally side by side. So I chose to go to Universal Studios and not Disney and got to see Harry Potter. But it's literally on the same lot. So in my head, it's Disney. Anyway, continue.
So for me, I don't know why people are getting so worked up about the extra quest on the PlayStation. Have we not seen what happened with Spider-Man in the Avengers game? I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Like, again, when it's all said and done, it's going to be much to do about nothing. It's going to be a side quest that you probably wouldn't have gone on anyway. I don't think you should
that into the world, because I would say that Spider-Man in the Avengers thing, that was just a perfect storm of ridiculousness. I suspect this will probably be good. Even if it's a single quest for them, it'll probably be good. But it is what it is. It's just business. You know?
No. Here's the thing. It is not going to change the outcome of the game in any way.
No, right? It's not going to be the reason why you buy it here versus there.
It's literally a side quest. And unless you do and some people do, but unless you're one of those people that does every side quest in a massive RPG, I don't think that this is anything to worry about, even if it is good. They got a side quest.
Shout out to Live Wires Gamer. He says, I love listening to the show with my Saturday morning workout. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you making us part of your morning routine on Saturdays. Like what Live Wire Gamer, please think about hitting the like button. Maybe subscribe, tell a buddy or two about the show. Let our voices, get to more people, more places. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers. We're getting close with it in there. We're very close. We appreciate all that. And that's why we like to keep PG-13. If y'all think that maybe PG-13 is a little less for you, because, we have a certain crowd, maybe you want a bit more of an adult show, you let us know. Maybe we'll look into that. But we appreciate all of the support and all the feedback. Let us continue on. So, all right. So you're saying when this game comes out, you will probably not be playing?
Probably not.
Okay. But then again, it's fine too, because it's just, look at the time it comes out. There's so many games coming out roughly at that time. So it may get lost in the shuffle. Who knows?
No, I think it's going to be big. It's just not for me, but I do suspect I would have been into everything,
that's for sure.
I suspect I would have been into it if I was into Harry Potter. I've just never
see, and that's where you and I differ. Watching the trailer as I have, I kind of feel like even those that are not into Harry Potter, if you're into a very cool story, very intricate systems, this and that, I think, I could be wrong, but I think that they've put enough into this where the IP getting you there is probably, well, the IP obviously is the IP, but if you're a gamer and you enjoy games and you enjoy just generally games, this might actually work for you there as well. It looks like they put the legwork in and didn't just depend on, hey, look, Harry Potter, you see the little, it's Harry Potter.
You know what I never liked about Harry Potter? Those like rinky-dink wands that's like a little tree twig. Like have a Gandalf staff.
Well, they have those.
I need somebody with a broadsword, not these little knives, these little young punks running around doing all this.
This little squiggly tree thing.
Yeah, what is this? Expecto Patronum.
They hold it like a little weird.
It doesn't work for me.
Yes, I get you.
Too soft.
See, welcome to the old men telling kids to get off their lawn podcast.
Well, hold on a minute. Slow-mo said Star Trek is terrible, and you know what, Slow-mo? I don't even have words. Just move on. I'm not even gonna address that nonsense.
I'm sorry, but the Slow-mo backslap that I have come to know, saying Star Trek like as an IP is
let me explain something.
That is surprising.
He is only saying that so that he can damage control for Dune. It makes him feel better about Dune. No,
I'll be honest, because Star Trek is an intellectual endeavor, and I always thought
well, not what J.J. Abrams did with it, but
let's not talk about J.J.'s crap. But I'm just in general, Star Trek has always been equal parts action and a part where let's analyze a world where you don't need any funds to get things done. They've always been heady in that way. I'm surprised you don't like that. Anyway, let us move on, and let me ask you, because I know you like. Out of all the Borderlands games, you never really gravitated toward them. You're more of a Tales of the Borderlands person, right?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Yes. Tales of the
Did this grab you? Because I don't think it grabbed me. I don't know why. And I love, I've played a lot of the Borderlands games. I love Tales from the Borderlands the most. This didn't do it for me. What about you?
Well, but I don't. So I did not like the initial trailer for Tales of the Borderland, and I tried it because I trusted Telltale. Okay. And I'm not saying this is Telltale, but this trailer had me about as excited as
the first one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try this.
Okay, good point.
But the trailer didn't work for me. But because they're doing Tales from the Borderlands, I think the world didn't work for me. The characters didn't work for me. I don't know. The world is interesting enough that I will try it.
Now let's move swiftly along.
No, hold on a minute. Hold on. Wait a goddamn minute.
We're gonna get there. Let's get there. So okay. Let us play the Sonic Frontiers trailer, okay? Because I'll be honest with you.
This is great.
Two trailers out of all this weekends, all these couple of weeks, the couple of days of news surprised me. 2 trailers, right? And in a positive way. Don't know how they'll turn out, but 2 trailers made me go, I initially was like trash. But now I'm intrigued. One being Forspoken.
That didn't work for me, but let's.
And second being Sonic Frontiers. I like the reason why I'm more intrigued now.
Look at this.
Yes. The reason why I'm more intrigued now is because I feel like all the things that I saw that I thought were bad design decisions were made on purpose for narrative reasons.
I thought you were saying they made it bad on purpose.
Yeah, well, so I'm like, hey, he looks like he doesn't belong there. It seems like they did that on purpose for a narrative reason. What that reason is, I don't know.
So when the game director said gamers just don't understand, you're saying he was right.
Well, but we won't know until he gets there, until the game comes out. It looks interesting. I'm looking forward to checking out what it looks like ultimately, And for those who are out there saying, I've seen like videos out there, people go, "Oh, it's exactly the same design." If that is your argument, you don't know Sonic, and you know me. We love on this show. Everborn's a Sonic stan. I'm the one that clowns him about it. I have no what they call them, sacred cows for Sonic properties. But one thing you know about Sonic is they take the tried and true, Green Hill formula, and they iterate it upon it in the next gen. That's why you've played that same Green Hill zone
I love it
multiple times in a different way, also in 3D.
I love it how people will say it's the same game design and then go and tell you Sonic Mania is the best game that they've played for Sonic in a while.
Which is literally the same game. Exactly.
What are we talking about here? Look, here's the thing. like what you have to understand is the last good 3D Sonic game was Sonic Generations, right or wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
and even that game was not good when it came out. It was good after
it's great at 60 and 120 frames a second.
Yes, that's
amazing at that.
That's right.
So they are taking the Sonic Generations formula, which is again the last Sonic game that worked.
Yep, which basically takes the original idea, the original designs, that Sega world building, you remember those worlds, and then tries to bring them into open world or tries to bring them into 3D. So yeah, if you see Sonic moving in the 2D world that way, and then you see this new one and it looks exactly the same, it's a choice they made on purpose. It's not lazy recreation of the same design, which is what people keep saying, which I thought was very weird. Like I have no problems dissing Sonic on this show. You've seen me do so, and I do it to quite funny effect because I know everyone loves Sonic so much. But the argument that people are making here are ridiculous. Like,
and then those same people will say, "I'll pay $70 for Last of Us remake." But anyway, the thing is this, right?
Yes.
What they're doing is they're taking Sonic, what worked about Sonic Generations, which is where you have a 2D and a 3D version of the level, and then they're adding the open world version of that zone, right? So you'll be in the sand zone, and it's a whole open world area, and then you'll unlock cyberspace to go to the 2D world, and then unlock another cyberspace level to go to the 3D
if nothing
world.
else, bro.
So there's three versions of each thing.
Yeah. If nothing else, this trailer has gotten me more interested in potentially playing it for sure. This has got me like, okay. I was gonna play it anyway because but still,
I am going to buy Ragnarok and this, and I'm gonna play this first.
Oh my god, this dude wants to compare Ragnarok.
I think Ragnarok should
Victor Allenstein's comment here. He says it needs to be like Ori but in 3D. What do you think?
No, I think a good thing for Sonic, if you wanted to kind of take it to the next level in the 3D space, or in the open world space, I should say, is look at a game called The Pathless.
Yeah, I remember
that is a game that is it's an indie game, but it's all about like movement and momentum in a 3D space. But for me, I would say another way you could do a Sonic game is like a Jet Set Radio, whereas you're jumping off walls and it's about the kinetic movement and grinding and things like that, as opposed to the speed. But the Pathless is another thing if you want to go that moving fast route. But again, what I'm seeing here looks really, really good, and I think we might be getting our once in a decade good Sonic game.
I hope you're right, bro. I do, because they're about due. And
if we don't, I'm gonna lie about it anyway. So
seriously, come on,
Sonic apologist.
You can be real, huh? And let's take a quick aside, real quick, about him being real. He can be real and he can be honest. He admitted that he was wrong about the Series S, which warmed my heart. I was gonna come on this show and
what else did I admit I was wrong about?
Hold on, I was gonna come on this show and I was gonna clown the heck out of this man, but then he literally just like fell on his own sword. And I was like,
no, I only did that as a preemptive attack against you.
Yeah, he only did that.
I knew why you pulled that up.
To declaw me. Like, what the hell? No, I hear you. No, but hey, it is what it is, right? You could be honest if Sonic comes out and it's trash. People would appreciate you for it. You have to admit it. If it's trash, it's trash.
I will come out and complain. Like it's like the Halo fans, right? The Halo stands, where they're never happy, right? So I'll complain.
Goat Simulator 3.
Don't care.
And Return to Monkey Island.
Don't care again.
Yes, I respect Return to Monkey Island for the pedigree, but the game itself, I'm like, maybe I'll play it. We'll see what happens. Moonbreaker. Thought it was interesting. I mean, guys in the chat, please, we're all here just talking about what we saw. If you think I'm ridiculous for not wanting to spend more time on Moonbreaker, please let me know.
Hey,
I know.
Can we highlight Negatron's second to last comment?
Let me find it. All
right.
Right. Yeah. Negatron says, at this point, Sega should just send Everborn a check and a life size.
Now, what I want to ask Negatron is, who's to say they already didn't?
Oh boy, here we go. Who's to say the man isn't already in the bag? And much like Manscaped, anytime anybody brings up Sonic, it is his job to make sure you know Sonic's the greatest thing in the world because he gets $1 every time.
Exactly.
Say that. Anyway, so we saw this game. We saw Friend versus Friends. Friends versus Friends reminds me of Spy versus Spy. Does anybody remember that from Nintendo? Like OG NES Spy versus Spy?
I know Spy versus Spy from Mad Magazine. I don't know.
Oh, come on. You got to, there's a game. You got to play OG NES. You open the door. One is black, one is white, wearing the whale spy hat. As soon as you see them, bam, you shoot them, play again. This reminded me a little bit of that. Very old school, simple idea, but yes. Yeah, Spy versus Spy was awesome. Anyway, so then we get to Lies of P. Let us roll the Lies of P footage. Everybody's talked about Lies of P. We won't spend too much time on this, but Mr. Everborn Elden Lord Saga, I suspect this probably spoke to you a bit because you are now on the other side of the looking glass, and I'm sure you're anticipating the next FromSoft game you're going to sink your teeth into. Did this speak to you?
Well, firstly, I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of the next FromSoft game because I put too much of my life into Elden Ring. And I lost a lot of sleep over that game. So I'm kind of dreading the day where another one comes out and I got to dedicate another 200 hours. This looks super like interesting. I get like everybody's hype about it, and it's dope that it's going to be a Game Pass. So I'm definitely going to try it. I do think that people think that what From Software is doing is easy to do, and I don't know that it is. And I think what worked for me about Elden Ring is how the open world was fully realized, and this seems like more of a linear experience. So I don't know if what I liked about Elden Ring will translate to this, but I'm very excited about this, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to beat it, and it looks super interesting. I'm just not as like high. I was going to say high on life, but I'm just not as high on it as everybody else. But it looks super intriguing, and I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested in this because it seems like it has not even From specifically, but specifically Bloodborne. It seems like it has the Bloodborne aesthetic. They took their inspirations from Bloodborne, even like a lot of UI elements from. Like it's very, very FromSoft-like, but not everything translates. It seems like they're faster. It seems like it's more methodical in certain instances. And it looks like the
I need
UI
to know that I can run away and farm
and then come back later,
level up and come up when I'm OP, and then fight the boss who just kicked my ass. If I can't do that,
but it also looks like you won't spend so much time Googling what that finger does. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I hated that part of Elden Ring. I'm sorry. I need to know what I'm doing, and if I don't, it's bad game design. I'm sorry. You should be able to tell me what I'm doing without me having to Google.
We're not going to have the Elden Ring. We're not going to relitigate Elden Ring.
Yes, we're not going to relitigate the Elden Ring. But I just hope that whatever they teach me, they can teach me and I can learn using the systems found within the game rather than expecting me to go out and research
NPCs
myself.
on the map.
I'm sorry?
You hope that they keep the location of NPC quests on the map.
Have a map. Have a quest log. Have the standard fare. I'm sorry. Have the standard fare and don't make co-op a finger.
Elden Ring made a lot of YouTubers a lot of money, so you gotta respect.
No doubt. I will definitely give you that.
Damn near 1 million subs just showing basic things that the game should have told you in the first place.
No doubt. Exactly. You see what you just said? Basic
but listen,
things that the game should have told you in the first place.
That means that From Software is for the content creator community. Don't be mad because you didn't put out Elden Ring videos and get 1 million views on how to beat a broken boss.
How to use this finger. I'm sure that video got like 1 million.
Most of the views Elden Ring got is people highlighting how to beat an already broken boss through a loophole and a bug.
Through a loophole until the loophole gets messed up, and then they have to find another one.
Another loophole, yes.
Yeah, that's right. What did you think about this? Like, I tend to play a lot of these type of games, even though I don't really beat them. Shout out to Pong Soul. He calls us grazers. I tend to graze on these games. Basically management sim kinds, but they like to put them in different scenarios. This one seems like, hey, humans have been stranded on an alien planet, and now they have to fend for themselves. They're let me see. I think there's gameplay footage a bit that they'll show.
So here's
they're look at this. They're
Absolutely
building
not.
crops. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're fending off weird beasties. I never finish these games. I always start them because it always just seems so much fun. I don't know. Not your cup of tea?
No, because I feel like my life is a management sim.
True.
Right? I got to handle payroll. I got to handle development meetings. I got to handle all this other stuff. I don't want to go manage stuff in the game and feel like I'm clocking out of work to clock back into work. I want to hack and slash stuff. So
you want brain dead monsters.
It doesn't have to be brain dead, but I don't want to be managing stuff. I just
I want to kill stuff. I hear you.
So
and then of course, and we won't go through everything, but I had to go through Atlas Fallen because I honestly think that this is one that a lot of people have put a lot of this is put on a lot of people's radar. What do you think? Like I thought out of nowhere, this has become this is Game of Show. What
and what's interesting about this is that unlike Lords of the Fallen, because this is new, you actually got gameplay at the end of it, so it's not all CG.
Yep.
Now the next thing is Slow-Mo put out a tweet the other day.
No, hold on. This is a good one. J-Mo Money says Everborn Saga wants a shoe salesman simulator. I want to see that. And the dude looked like Bundy. Oh man, that'd be fantastic. I'm sorry.
I was good at sports in high school too. So the thing is, I think the idea of market consolidation doesn't bother me because, as to quote Littlefinger, chaos is a ladder, right? And what that means is, as the market consolidates, there will be executives and game designers that get big payouts from these acquisitions, and they'll move on and start their own studios, and they will be making the new games, and they will become the AAA developers of tomorrow. So what I would argue is that the market was hard to get into before because you had these main players, and now with them becoming first party, absolutely not.
Come on, man. Just give the man his due.
How complex.
So Everborn Saga is being very windy, roady, but all he's saying is that Slow-Mo was right. It's okay.
So, but my point is, but the point I'm trying to make is, and I think this is important here. I think that the market was harder to get into, and it was harder to be noticed as a new studio. And I think these acquisitions and the people that get to start these new studios, now they're going to get a lot more shine, and now they can make things like this, right? This man's trying to say I'm plagiarizing.
I'm sorry. This is just too much. Let's continue.
So this is the thing. I think taking it, long story short, taking some of these major players off the board is a good thing because we're going to get new things.
We've all said it. That's why all of a sudden Annapurna's on your radar. That's why all of a sudden Devolver's on your radar, because it's giving room for new stars to shine. That's why all of a sudden you see Ubisoft. Like, if you wait long enough, the shiners become past their prime, and then you're like, oh my goodness, what happened to them? Right? Here we are in Ubisoft land. Here we are with EA. They used to be the tip of the spear, and now it's, you clearly see they're past their prime.
This does look way better than Forspoken.
Bro, no doubt. This game looks, and let me be clear. Like I said, I was clowning Forspoken in the beginning. After seeing the trailer, and that Forspoken trailer that I'm discussing was not necessarily on this show, this Gamescom live show. So maybe some people may have missed it. But Square did put out, like, I think a 10-minute trailer, really like delving deep on what the game looks like, and I was impressed. I really was not even planning on playing it, but after seeing that trailer, I probably would.
I'm still not planning on playing it. It doesn't speak to me, and like it. I don't know, man. The visual fidelity is not. It's not doing it for me. The
Have you seen that in the
dialogue
recent
isn't
trailer?
doing it for me. I have.
Okay.
Even some of the assets don't look like they. I don't know. It doesn't feel.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't feel inspired. That's how.
Okay.
That's how I'll.
Okay.
I'll put it.
And no doubt, like, and most of the criticism you have now, you've heard me talk about it. You know, I have not been.
Well, let me
blowing
say
up.
one thing. The combat looked a lot more coherent
This
in
time.
what we saw.
Yes.
So I will give it that. It is a mark. It is markedly improved, but it still has not dragged
some
me in yet.
places to go.
It doesn't look as fun to play as Flintlock.
So let me say this to you. So as you know, and for those who do or do not know, on PC, Forspoken will be the first game that will use Microsoft's direct storage API. And so it will be the first game that will presumably be as fast as, if not faster than, how a PS5 loads, because they're using PC speeds to do so. And it's funny, the game's not out yet, but already I'm seeing Windows 10 and Windows 11 updates start doing that. So like I have 4 drives in my PC. Now when I look up the settings, you can see which ones are direct storage API capable. So it will recommend that I install the game on one of those drives so we could use that fast storage. So they're prepping for that.
Speaking of Windows 11, you know how they hijacked my PC? They were threatening me
forced you to install Windows 11.
And then I woke up one day and it was like installing after me putting it off for months.
Yes,
so it installed. I gotta say, Unity runs way faster in Windows 11. Like it just, and I have like right now, I have 3 different Unity projects running at the same time. Just that, even with all my RAM and whatever the PC that I have, it was Unity never worked as fast as it does. That is,
I will tell you, Win 11, as much as annoying as it is, in the background, it makes things run much better. It just does. Win 11 it just does. You can definitely tell. And you know how you can tell? I installed Windows 10 on Steam Deck. And why did I do that? Because you want to install games and whatnot. But what that does is it gives you a good idea of how much of a headroom that the OS has, because if you put something that heavy on a small light system like a Steam Deck, it will quickly use all those resources and start to bog down. Windows 11, buttery smooth on Steam Deck. Windows 10, okay running on Steam Deck. That tells you they've done a lot of optimization for that stuff. So as annoying as it looks, and it's still annoying, and I kind of don't want to use it, it's on my laptop, but it's not on my big PC. But yes, every time I've played with Windows 11, I've been surprised at how well the software that runs on it runs. So I'm not surprised that Unity runs well as well. Shout out to Gerald Mack. He is saying that the free-to-play game, Unreal 5 free-to-play game, First Descent is on his radar. Here's the trailer for that. Did you see this?
Yes. This is Project Magnum, right?
I'm not sure what the project name was. This is the first time this was on my radar. Called First Descent.
Wait, highlight Megatron's second to last comment.
Honesty is the best policy in this chat. I don't think we need to hear it. Stay away from the tribal Twitter. Yeah. I don't disagree, brother. I do not disagree.
If you want honesty, stay away from slow-mo backslap.
Oh, stop it. Don't be that, man. Come on now.
I'm joking. Slow-mo is one of the most, most, you know what? No, I'm not saying it.
About to clip
Forget it. He's a
we here for
slow and a PC apologist.
That's here for slow. This show will always have your back, Slow-Mo. You're always welcome here. Stop it. But yeah, look at this trailer. Look at this stuff. It is quite beautiful, right? It really looks like it's basically the Unreal 5 demo that everybody was like, hey, why don't you just make a game in it? And they went, okay. Right? No, same rocks. Same everything, but it's beautiful. It's amazing.
This is great. And Unreal Engine 5 is part of, although I have my reservations about all games using the same tech and looking and feeling the same. But
for now, it's new. So before every explosion looks the same and every rock formation looks the same, for now we're enjoying ourselves,
Right. But again, this is part of the thing that is going to allow more people and more studios to come up. So who cares who's buying
Pixel
what?
Bit G. I am not telling you it is okay to update to Windows 11.
No,
I am
no,
saying
no.
If you have a secondary
don't you put
machine,
that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. I'm saying if you have a secondary machine, maybe now's the time to throw it on your second machine and start playing with it a little bit before that first real update, which I think is coming this November. after the November update, folks will be like, okay, maybe now it's time. Oh, and real quick, let's double back on this trailer real quick and comment on the fact that this dude's looks so much like Destiny 2, but okay.
But this is
with
third
the
person.
horns, the whole
it's
thing.
Third person, so that's a plus.
Yes, but it is indeed a plus. And I love the way the graphics look. It's really crunchy and realistic looking. It's beautiful. Absolutely.
Is this what what's it called that People Can Fly Square Enix game should have been?
You mean Outriders?
Outriders,
yes. Yeah. I feel like Outriders was a victim of time and money, right? They had a good solid foundation. And to my understanding, since the recent update, those who have given it a chance are saying, yes, this is how it should have been in the first place. The update has really brought it into its own. Like, it's really worth playing now. But yeah, I mean, even with that said, look at the graphics here. Clearly, this is where they should have been going for. But instead, they went cross generation. They went, hey, let's take the PS. Let's make sure that the older generation console also is there. And you can never make it look like this if you're going to do that.
And this is what you can do when, from the outset, you're targeting. Well, no, PS4.
Oh, yeah,
Xbox
you're
One.
absolutely right.
Look at that.
Right. Yeah.
Forget everything I was just about to say.
That's right. Yeah. And remember, UE5 does technically still run on the last gen. The question we must ask ourselves is, how will it play? Because even on UE5 demos that we've seen so far have been a little bit tough. So we'll see.
Guess what? We'll never know.
Yeah, because we're not playing on that.
All right. I want to say something about High on Life, if we can.
Yes,
a lot of people, and I did not understand this, they watched the boss fight and they seemed disappointed or deflated or let down. I heard a lot of people saying, like, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was very weird. I didn't understand.
I thought the boss fight looked super interesting and it was funny.
Bro, I don't get it.
Let me put some slander out there real quick.
Please.
The boss fight that we were showed here was more interesting and involved than any of the boss fights in Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, I knew he was going to do it.
And Ratchet and Clank is a shooter, right? Let's call it what it is.
Yep.
Right? I understand it's a platformer, but it's also a shooter.
Yes, it is.
This is good. This is a good boss battle. Why were people deflated? I don't get it.
Then they had
to show all the knifey and killing the little kid stuff, and they're like, I'm back on. But that's not really gameplay. This is gameplay. You're seeing the game, and you don't this.
And what people must also have to understand is Squanch Games, this is their first, what they're calling AAA game. Every game they've made up until now has been very small budget, and it's always been about the fun.
It's cutting the boxes so you can't stay behind.
What people are saying, and not necessarily what's on display. It's the juxtaposition of cartoony, funny, look at the cuteness versus that knife is literally saying the most outlandish shit I have ever heard. You know what I'm saying? That is their method. So, I think folks are probably just, judging these guys harshly. I suspect they're just judging people harshly, I think. But honestly, this game showed so well for me. I loved everything I saw, but I know what to expect from these guys. It's about the cute guys, cute things, saying stuff that your children should not be hearing. You should listen to the knifey dialogue. This is the type of game where you'll just hit pause. You'll just stand in the world and just let them talk and not go anywhere.
I'm just like the design of the boss battle for me, like when she jumps up and then you can grapple to get away, this laser beam, the things falling around you. There's a lot going on. I don't know. This is good. I'm not even talking about the dialogue. I'm saying like that.
Just right the gameplay alone was fine to me. Yeah, the gameplay looked fine. I don't know why.
Around in a first-person game. I don't know. It's something about it that's working for me. But
yep, me too. I'm definitely day one playing this. I know what to expect here. Again, if you haven't played Trover Saves the Universe, do so. It's available in VR, but it's also available outside of VR.
I also want to say
exactly what they do.
If this isn't working for you, right? I don't know that the dialogue will save it, right? Because the dialogue is going to not matter after a while, right? And so I feel like this is what the gameplay is.
Well, but you should play Trover Slaves in the Universe, honestly, because they have been able. I'm telling you, because from a gameplay perspective, that game is not necessarily like the most dynamic, most interesting.
Wait a
but
minute.
It's so damn funny.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a minute. I didn't say it visually looks better than Ratchet. I'm saying the gameplay and the fighting mechanics is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it visually looks better than
y'all
Ratchet.
can, you know what? Y'all can duke it out when both games are released. The other one's out yet now. Wait till High on Life comes out. It's coming out soon, right? And then we'll see. And I will tell you right from jump, you can clip it from me. When it's all said and done, I don't think graphics will beat a Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank came to show you what the PS5 could do, and that's why they literally put all that ink on the screen. That's not what High on Life is there for. They're trying to, like, when you see it, they're trying to invoke, oh, it's Pixar, oh, it's Ratchet and Clank, oh, it's, all this cutesy stuff, and then the dude opens his mouth and says the most blue stuff, and that's what they're there for. It's not to show you how powerful this hardware is that you're doing.
No, but this still does look
beautiful. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. They're going to put it on the screen. They're calling it their first AAA production. They're going to put it on the screen, but I don't think you should expect to see Ratchet and Clank Insomniac levels.
And the thing you have to consider about Ratchet and Clank, because I was thinking the same thing when I saw it, but if you go and play Ratchet and Clank, you have to think about the on-screen character density, right? You have to think about, obviously, the ray tracing, and I know this doesn't have the ray tracing, but you also have to think, when you get up close to things, are you gonna get that? And if it can match that screen density, and if they can figure out some way to patch in ray tracing, which I don't think that they
honestly, like, mark my words, that game is gonna come out. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be fantastic, funny as hell. It will not look as good visually as Ratchet and Clank did. I don't think so. I think they're going for a specific style. Yes, it has similarities, but there is no way, because Ratchet and Clank, they knew exactly what they were doing with Ratchet and Clank. They were visually trying to sell you a PS5. That was the purpose of Ratchet and Clank, and it works, right? To the point where after the magic wore off, other developers came and debunked most of the magic, saying it could have been done on PS4, but the purpose was to sell you that PS5, and it worked. I could be wrong, but I don't think when this game comes out, and by that I mean High on Life, I don't think you'll be like, yo, graphically they compare. I don't think so. I think it'll be beautiful, but it won't be Ratchet and Clank beautiful.
What I think, though, is that
that's okay.
People will think the gunplay is better.
Maybe they'll think the gunplay is better, or maybe they'll prefer this one because, hey, it's a Ratchet and Clank kind of aesthetic. But as soon as they open their mouth, boy, you at Harlem, you at the comedy show. You know what I'm saying? Which this game has a who's who of comedians in it, right? Most famous comedians, hilarious. So I'm looking forward to that. Real quick, how about The Expanse? Do you have experience with The Expanse, sir?
I have only watched the first 2 episodes.
Wow. I've watched the entire series, like, to the end. It is so good. Like,
how much better did it get when Amazon bought it?
I would say it reached its pinnacle before Amazon bought it, but Amazon smartly chose to not, like, poke it at all and just let it continue being as great as it was, and it finished its run as good as it was before Amazon bought them. Amazon didn't make them great, but Amazon didn't drop them either. Did
they get a better budget to do?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that you could see that their budget was solidified after Amazon, and you could see that the good thing about this game, this show, and for those who don't know, it's a TV show in the vein of, like, what do you call it? What's the other show before it that also very gritty space show? Gritty. It's supposed to be like how it really would be if you really were there, rather than the veneer of shininess of it all. They've done this a few times, right? This is not your Star Trek, Star Wars. This is really your dirty, how it would really look. And because of that, they have taken the aesthetic to kind of, because it works for that world, you can tell they save a lot of money by dirtying everything up. You know what I'm saying? So even with Amazon's money, they were able to blow it out and make the world even far more lived in and far more visually appealing, but they didn't make anything new and amazing because of Amazon's money. Maybe there are more ships available because of. All
right, let's forget about Amazon for a second. What about this game?
What do you think of this game? Have you actually seen this thing? This is very Telltale. This is the
looks a little bit more involved than Telltale games.
Well, this is the return of the new Telltale, right? This is them. Whoever bought Telltale, right?
Because I think I saw them actually shooting stuff in this.
Yes. The obviously the engine is completely overhauled. Look at the game, right? The engine is completely overhauled. It does not look like a cell shaded game, which most Telltale games did, right?
Which I didn't mind. I like that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wind Waker.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if nothing else, it 100% looks like visually it's much better. I don't know the moment to moment gameplay though. It being that it's Telltale has become known as the walking simulator, if you will. So that might not change here, but visually it looks really cool. It looks very interesting, and the source material I love. So that got me there day one. So it's about those hard choices. This is a show that you should watch.
This is definitely a game for me. I'm 100%.
Thank you, Beast Mode. I was trying to find the name. Battlestar Galactica, but better. Yes, 100%. And I'm not talking the 80s Battlestar. I'm talking about the early 2000s Battlestar. It follows that Battlestar lineage where everything's dirty and lived in and nobody has any money. And, if you see a shiny spaceship, it's like, wow, they must be rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very interesting lived in world. And I love that they're going further in gaming here, even though the show has kind of finished its run. So I think this is going to be a great one. Let's move quickly along.
Is it just me? Just a random thought. Does some of the lighting feel uneven on the characters? Because some of them they have interesting textures, and then other ones they just
they're in this pitch dark, but for some reason somehow
she looks good. Look at one of the other guys, and it's just is that model finished yet?
Remember, this is technically a new studio because yes, it's Telltale.
It's also
probably most of them aren't there.
Hopefully they'll iron out those kinks.
What did you think of this announcement, sir? Do you have any? I think I missed this one. You missed this one. Okay.
Because I was working while this was going on, and I had it on the other monitor, so I had to kind of jump in and out of it.
So for those who don't know, there was I guess it's 88. Yeah, there was an old IP. This is based on a very old IP back in the day, where there used to be IPs that were frankly trash IPs. Toxic Avenger and all these other really old, weird. I used to watch all of this stuff as a kid. Ridiculous. This is about, obviously, it says it all in the title, killer clowns from outer space. They come, they show up on Earth, they start killing things, right? There's a movie about it, tongue-in-cheek, very 80s, and out of nowhere, we probably never will get a game like Titanfall 3, but we're getting killer clowns from outer space.
And who's making this?
Who's making this? Let's see. Who's making this? Please tell me it's something like where is it? Who is this? Harvest Begins Early. What's the IP? Where is the? I don't see the. Oh, there we go. Obviously, it is the MGM. MGM is the owner of the IP. What's the name of them? Turvision Games. Turvision Games. Yeah, never heard of them either. Yeah, but just the idea that this old dormant IP, I said, okay, where's the Toxic Avenger? I want that. Like, bring back the Toxic Avenger. Then, IPs from nowhere just kind of showed up and are now here and are here to get a new audience. I bet you most of the kids that see these shows never even heard of Toxic Avenger. So I'm interested to see what eventually storylines they bring up on it. This trailer here for Scars Above really did something to me, but not a lot of people seem to like it. What are your thoughts? Did you see this?
Yeah, you said some.
I think it looks good.
About
no, it's not
Mass
foolishness.
Effect.
You know what it's compared to?
Do not. I wouldn't even compare this to Andromeda. Stop it.
It is exactly Andromeda. Have you played Andromeda?
Yes, I have
It
played
is,
Andromeda.
bro. It looks like Andromeda very much so. Even the protagonist looks like the one from Andromeda. Like it really does. It looks like you're on now. And when I say that's not necessarily the most glowing of endorsements, because out of the Mass Effect, the whole Mass Effect IP, Andromeda is seen as the least that people finish. Right, most people didn't even finish Andromeda. But this really gave me Andromeda vibes. I don't know.
I definitely was not interested enough to finish Andromeda.
Yeah, and see, there you go.
Probably
So
like a third
I'm not
of the way
saying
into it.
like all of this, like all this right here spoke very much Andromeda to me. Like this stuff right here, very much. Like, and if you remember playing Andromeda, it had a lot of this kind of vibe. And then you get on the planet, you don't know what's going on exactly. The terrain, weird rocks in the sky. It is very much Andromeda. And then, of course, you start shooting, and it's got a very third person over the shoulder. You're shooting at beasties. You know, you're using your jetpack to traverse the world. It not 100%, but it really, like this part really gave me those vibes. But yeah, people haven't really. I think it looks interesting. People haven't really they haven't really seemed to have a good feeling about it. But it does also have very much Returnal vibes that I see on here. Is this something you'll be playing as well, or it's very horror kind of focused?
I need to see more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the first in the line. Yeah, I will give you that.
I can't make a decision off that one yet.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Okay, so I thought we'd take some time to really talk about some of these games. If there's nothing more to really,
Harley Quinn,
Gotham Knights, we've seen it. Yes,
I think that
we're already about an hour 30 in. We have a few more stories that are really important that I think I want to talk about. So, if anybody has any other things from that time, from the original Gamescom, any trailers you want to talk about that I haven't brought up, please let me know. Because if not, we will move forward with the other stuff we want to do. But just real quick, Where the Winds Meet. If you haven't seen this trailer, you should. Very interesting. I think it's a Chinese studio. A lot of very interesting Chinese studios out here now doing very interesting things. So, I really do think that people should be paying more attention to it. The Outlast Trials. This is, I guess, from the Outlast IP, right? Wasn't Outlast from the people that made what's the name of the company? Layers of Fear. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know.
And okay, so I will talk before we move on. Let's talk about this Dead Island 2 trailer. And Mr. Janet Dark says, let's talk about Splatoon 3. No, sir, we will not talk about Splatoon 3. I think Splatoon 3 is a hot take from me. Terrible FPS from Nintendo. I said it. Forgive me. Move on. Okay. Come at me. Let's do this.
It's not FPS though, right? It's third person.
Splatoon is a third person shooter, isn't it? Isn't it first? Oh no, it's third. Then they turn into little squiddies. Yeah, I just never connected with. I don't know. It just never connected with. Maybe it's one of those old man things. I'm sure when the new one comes out, my daughter really insists on playing it. It might it might spur my interest in getting it started. But before we move off of this specific side of the stories, what did you think of this news? They started in earnest to once again.
What did I think about it when we saw it, or when Amazon leaked it by mistake?
Yeah, there was that.
I mean,
and let's be honest, had they not leaked it, it probably would have been a really big deal too, because it was a good looking trailer.
I mean, they hired Lenny Kravitz, so
I know, right? Is that what you saw too? First thing I saw, I was like, oh, it's got to be Lenny. It looks like Lenny.
I don't know. It's hard to go from like Dying Light 2 to this, and I know they're different games, but it feels like the same thing, except this has like drop kicks. I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like this game is far more in the direction of, say, what's that Insomniac game? Xbox Insomniac game. Come on, give me the name of the game. Come on.
I'll tell you right now. You're talking about
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
It
seems more in that direction than it is in the
trailer. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
you thought it was another Dying Light.
Yeah, I was like, that was Sony's big surprise. They're doing
they're doing part 2. Wow, that'd be outlandish, man.
That would have been dope.
Still happen. Which could still happen. Yes,
that would be a day one for me.
Indeed, because that game is amazing. Yeah. This does have a very tongue-in-cheek kind of story idea to it.
hold on, Cedric H in the chat, and I don't want to derail us, but I know we're gonna get on this topic. Wulong looks so good, giving us those
Mr.
Ninja Gaiden vibes. Like, wow.
Indeed.
I'm pretty excited for that. When does that drop?
They haven't. I think they just said 2023, or did they even drop a year? I don't think so. Did they even drop a year, guys? Let me know.
I mean, it was in the 12-month showcase, so they should.
True. So if Microsoft is to be believed, it has to be in 2023 because.
But then so was Kojima, so who knows? But technically, they didn't show the Kojima game, so maybe we can get a pass for that.
That's true. Okay. Let us move on. Again, if anybody, and shout out to Double Barrel Gaming. Welcome, sir. We appreciate you being here. He's got the hashtag charge them more already in there. If we missed anything and anybody wants us to come back on any of the trailers, we will. But we're about an hour 30 in, and I want to get to some of these other stories and hear Mr. Everbone Saga's opinion. So let us move on from the trailers. But there's so much more there. There was just so much more there. Yes, I know, man. I know that they're asking me about Atomic Heart. Let's be clear. Atomic Heart is seriously my game, like my most anticipated game of this year, because it's still coming out this year. It is so looking great. I'm excited for it. But yeah, we have so much.
You still believe it's coming out this year?
They have come out on many occasions and have had many opportunities to change that narrative. And every time they show up, they go, "Yep, 2022." So I'm still going to believe them. Until the very last minute.
Everybody says the initial date until they don't.
Yeah. But but since it's been delay season, they've had many opportunities to come out and go, "Yeah, us too," and they haven't. So until they do, I'll just be there. I'll be back here and I'll be optimistic. But it looks. I have been following this game for years. Look on YouTube. You will find about an hour of footage. They have showed about an hour of footage forever. And Mr. Double Barrel Gaming, no, it is not an Xbox Series console exclusive. It will be everywhere. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, everywhere, except for what do you call it? Switch, if I'm not mistaken. It will be everywhere, but it will also be day and date and Game Pass. That's what took the narrative. So we knew that the game was going to be everywhere for a very long time. And then I think when it showed up on Microsoft stage 2 years ago or last year, that's when they announced it would be day and date and Game Pass. And it kind of took over the idea that it's a Game Pass Xbox game now because of that Game Pass idea. You know what I mean? You know how it goes, the Game Pass effect. So yes, I am super excited for that game as well. We should deep dive on that a little later, but let us move on because we still have some stories to talk about. Let us talk about the fact that Microsoft bought Sonic. No, I'm sorry. You saw that, right?
Of course I saw it. And then Sarah Bond doesn't help things by coming out and saying, welcome to Xbox. But she was just talking about Soul Hackers 2. She said, welcome to Xbox, Sega, and Atlas West.
And as soon as Bloomberg and I'm patting myself on the back here, I put that out there. I think I might have been the first person to see that mistake because like the video that I put out has like 250,000 views now, and their original video they left it up, they took it down, and now it's back up, and they've cut that part out. So my video is the only way you can see the mistake that they made. But anyway, let's move on to the actual meat and potatoes of the story. You know, all the stuff that Phil had to say about what's happening in this with the ABK deal, right? We've already had a conversation, and shout out, of course, to Mr. Boomstick. We talked about it on his show. You know, we heard him come out, right? He talked about the ABK deal when this whole thing first started, right? We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, right? And then he was gone. Nobody heard from him. We saw your Brad Smiths come out.
Witness protection.
We saw all of them come out.
Then the big boy lawyers came out and said, "Phil, I need you to take a step back. We're going to handle this now, and you don't say shit." Again.
Now, here's the thing, and I'll let you. I want your full hypothesis on this, but I will shout out Dealer Gaming because I saw his video, and he again, as he does, he has a way with words. He says exactly how I feel about it. Phil said what he said right at the beginning of the ABK deal in his tweets. Since that time, a lot of people have also said stuff from a Microsoft perspective. And now Phil has come back and said some more stuff. Has he said anything different than what they said when they first started? I don't think so.
Well,
it's a lot of words, a lot of blah, 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 blah. But every point that's actually a factual, hey, you should know this information, they already shared that with you from Phil's tweet right from jump of the ABK deal.
And he learned that from Satya.
Oh, of course. Say a whole lot.
Without
don't commit to anything. Don't commit to anything.
This is what you have to be good at to be a big corporate CEO.
Bro, even in this, oh yeah, we don't know yet. And I'm not saying he's being malicious about it, right? I'm not saying that. Yes, I know you are.
Phil is not
but
at
the end of the day, at the end, just like Dealer said in his video, and if you didn't check it out, you should, of course, Dealer Gaming. He's out here, right? You should definitely check out his video. He's like, oh yeah, doesn't mean do you know today if campaign Call of Duty's coming to cross-platform or is it just the free-to-play version? You still don't know that because they've said a lot of words, and what did they say? Nothing of real substance. But of everything they've said, and I'm sure you've poured over all the details. What do you think the main idea is here of Phil sitting down with Bloomberg and having this conversation?
Now, you know how I have a rule in any debate to say don't pay attention to anything someone says before the qualifier of but, right? Ignore everything before the word but, right? Yeah. There's another similar rule that says do not listen to what a guy has to say until he gets the draws. Because that's when you know what they're really going to do. So you really can't listen to what Phil Spencer is saying until he closes the deal.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is the reason why you have all this non-committal stuff. You also can't say too much because then it's going to be like you're in cahoots doing things. True. So you have to be as non-committal because you don't want to mess up any potential deal that could go down. Right? So, but he did say some interesting things with that qualifier. Now, I just said the word but, so you have to ignore everything I just said. But
there you go.
He talked about if someone only has $500, they're gonna go in the store, and if they don't buy a Switch, they're gonna have to use it. Right. They're going to have to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation, and that's where competition comes in. He also, the way everyone is reporting about exclusives seeing less and less of.
Yep. Speak on that. That's a very interesting point.
Okay. So he was talking about content or games being limited to a single hardware device.
Yep.
When was the last time an Xbox first-party game was limited to a single piece of hardware or device?
Let's think about that. That used to be Flight Sim, and then they changed that by putting it in the cloud. So that even that's not the case. You see?
No, but Flight Sim was also on PC and console before it came to the cloud. So this is the thing. There is another company out there, however, that is gating things to a single device, right? And if you go on to read his quote, meaning you buy an Xbox and he buys a PlayStation and their kids want to play, that is a reference to cross-play. It is not a reference to less exclusive. What he's saying to you is nothing.
Well, I mean, what you could think of based on the frame of the conversation that they were having, you could easily say that he literally was saying, "Hey, all the money hatting you're seeing is coming to an end." That's kind of what he's saying.
I'm coming to that point, right?
But before you do, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Boomstick Excel. What's going on, Boom? Welcome,
What's
sir.
going on, guys? I got a couple of minutes. I saw the link. Please. I said, let me jump in. First of all, I don't know if anyone has congratulated Mr. Everborn Saga. He is the Sony's new CFO. Charge them more.
Absolutely.
Mr. Charge them more himself.
$87 per game starting this fall. He's raising it $10 and putting it into his pocket.
I just got off the phone with Jim. I told him how his customers are happy to pay more for quality.
Quality, top quality, and they're gonna spend the weekends on that yacht, you know.
But my point is, if you if you listen to what he said, or you read what he says, I know that some people in some companies won't like that. Do you think some companies is Microsoft?
Nintendo.
Does he talk about Microsoft in the third person?
No, he would not. He's talking about Sony. Yeah, he's definitely talking about Sony.
That is the thing, and I think people have made a lot out of this that weren't really there. And I'm not saying that I think ultimately what is being referred to is that we're going to move away from console wars to platform wars, meaning you'll probably have a PlayStation Plus service that you can access on your Xbox and an Xbox Game Pass that you can access on the PlayStation, and it'll all be accessible in the cloud, and it'll all be running on Azure servers.
Quick question. When you watch The Boys, you watch it maybe on your TV or your Xbox or your PlayStation, right?
Yep.
Almost like it's not limited to a single piece of hardware.
And when you watch the when you watch the Embracer Group hit Umbrella Academy, where do you watch that?
Netflix.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
Probably on the same device you watched the other show on.
Oh, dude, my Xbox.
It's not about the hardware, right?
My Series X has all the apps. I turn it on. I'm playing a game. I go from playing a game. Mrs. Boom comes in. We're going to go watch a Korean drama on Netflix. Then we're done with that. Last night we watched Samaritan, which, by the way, was really, really good on Amazon. And then from there, we went to another service. I went to Disney to watch She-Hulk, which, by the way, was also really good.
Also awesome.
All on one device.
Wait a minute. And I know we're going to come on to really the end of this. I don't know if you peeped what she read in the newspaper.
I saw what she said. And
No. Man with metal claws.
With metal claws.
Yes.
That's right.
Wolverine makes a cameo without making a cameo.
Well, you know, and we're doing this already, right? They're dropping little mutant nuggets into all the various Disney Plus shows. They did the same thing with what do you call it, Miss Marvel. So I'm super excited.
And Hulk is going off to find out that the son that he sired in space is now dead, and he's probably going to end up killing everybody.
Yep.
World War Hulk. And did you peep the little callback where he said, "Oh, I fought Blonsky so long ago. I was a different person back then."
Oh, literally. I was a different man altogether. I was just like, "Oh, that's just funny." That was pretty funny. It was really good. We'll get to that in the end. Yes,
I want to say that aside from my Hulk rant last week, I like the She-Hulk show. I just don't like what Disney is doing or has done with the Hulk. It has nothing to do, because I think the actress that they got is very good to play.
Since your rant, I've done some looking around, and a lot of people have.
Sorry, I had to walk away. I heard some chanting in the background, and I thought that my house was possessed. And it turns out that I don't want to say her name because this device, if you say it, will do something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it had like monks going and I'm like, what is happening?
It was probably trying to tell you it's time to go play some Halo.
You know what? It kind of did sound like a little bit of Halo. You know what, guy? I did buy Saints Row yesterday. I haven't played it yet.
Yes. Yeah, you haven't played it yet. Okay.
I haven't played it. I got $30 off with using Microsoft reward points. How you doing?
Yeah, Look at that. That's real cool. That's cool. All right. I will want to hear your opinions on that because, it's very polarizing these days.
My brother walked away very disappointed. The characters are exactly what someone had put, I think it was Mag in our chat, said, these look like Starbucks.
Starbucks gangsters.
Yes,
Yes, but that game has always been very tongue-in-cheek and ridiculous and foolish, and they do just the weirdest juxtapositions. They just love putting you in positions where you look around going, "Is this real? Like, what kind of weirdness is this?" So, I hear both sides of the house going. One side going, "Oh, it's terrible. They should have never made it," and the other side going, "It's fun, endless ridiculousness. Turn your brain off and have a good time." So, I'll wait for a sale and possibly check it out. But let's jump back to the point at hand here.
Yeah.
So with this whole ABK thing almost done, right, as it were, it looks like it's almost done because we've discussed it and we discussed it on your show, Boom. You know, it seems like they're having a presentation in front of everybody's eyes, right? Phil comes out, says, this is what we're going to do. Then you see this person come out. They're talking about the regulators. They talk about this person come out. Oh, we solved the problem with the workers. And then now it seems like we're at the end and Phil's giving his closing statement, or so it seems.
Yeah.
Right? So with all that said and done, right? When, in your estimation, Mr. Boomstick, do we finally see the beginning? And what I mean by the beginning is, do we finally see, you know, all the vultures literally step away? Yeah, it's done now. There is no back and forth. It's done now. Now we begin the process of seeing how Microsoft, how Xbox Game Studios, how Phil Spencer deals with King and Activision and all of that. When do you see that page start turning? When do we close the book on this acquisition stuff?
You know what's interesting? I have to equate what Everborn Saga had to say, and I think his point is literally right on point. Because Phil Spencer. Yeah, no.
I was about to say, Boom. You know, I will let it slide, but we have a tradition of never gassing
never saying he's right.
His head is even bigger than it already is. Come on, now.
Yeah,
Continue, sir. Go ahead.
No, I mean the truth of the matter is this: Phil Spencer comes out in January. He makes this grandeur admission that Activision Blizzard King is going to become Xbox first party. They have the intention of buying this company for $70 billion. He does a couple of interviews afterwards talking about it. When, you know, maybe 60 or 70 days after the announcement, we start hearing unions, right? They have to respond. Phil gets out there and says, no, we're going to accept the unions, right? Every time he needed to say something because there was a fire starting, he came over with the hose and he put it out and said, don't worry, everything is good. This is what we're going to do. But once those questionnaires stopped, he was in witness protection program, right? like everyone said, you've seen Phil out there,
kind of like
he was
Booty,
moving,
right?
and he was
Where
shaking.
He at? Nobody knows.
But he didn't speak about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I find it very suspicious that on the cusp of all of these things going on, here's Phil Spencer out of the blue dropping this interview. Like normally when you have someone of his status quo make an interview, it's usually because he's answering, hey, Fuzzy Beverly, what's going on, brother? He's answering a question that needs to be answered, right? There is a purpose behind him sitting down, because I'm not trying to be like put him up on a pedestal. He's a human being, but he's also the head of Microsoft Gaming. So when he talks, we as podcasters, as the gaming community, we stop and we listen. We're like, whoa, like what's happening
saying? What
here?
Does it mean?
I think Everborn is right that this deal, I'm sure Brad Smith, everything that he said was coached. Right now, he's a great speaker. We know that Phil's an awesome speaker. He's an honest guy. He's a gamer. When he speaks, I don't think I've ever heard him come out there and off the cuff lie. Like I've never walked away hearing him speak saying, "Oh yeah, that's just bullshit." You know what I'm saying? I never heard of that. I always felt that he was being very forthcoming. And I think that this interview that he had that gave a lot of like detailed information does make me believe that this deal is close to being done. Now, what you want to know a specific date? I honestly I said this before on my show, and I'm going to say it on yours. I think what they're hoping for is a perfect storm scenario. And the perfect storm scenario for Microsoft, who does not have a first-party banger, as the kids say, launching in 2022, they have done I'll take the L on this one. I have been very, very stout with my opinions on, if you're not going to have your first party step up to the table, you got to have something in the form of third party come into Game Pass as that being the exclusive in itself. And I have to say that they have done a bang up job. Yes, Saints Row's not in there. I hear you. but maybe we don't get Gotham Knights. That's still a possibility, but I still don't think so. But you cannot sit back and say that what they have released and what continues to be released this year up until December is not great offerings for Xbox Game Pass, and should at least give you, the Xbox player, because you're not playing Red Bull and you're not playing Motorsport and you're not playing Starfield. We hear you were all upset, but they gave you something. And some of these games,
Boom, I love you being here. I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah,
you bring this perfect point, because I wanted to bring this up with Everborn a bit, and you and I were having this chat, and I think this is a perfect time to add this.
Please add it
as well. You perfectly like paint the picture of, hey, it's all right. Right, we as pundits can be back and forth. We as those who watch the balls and strikes, we are those who read the tea leaves of Microsoft and the gaming environment as a whole. We can be upset when calendar year 2022 is a wash. We can say that,
right?
But doesn't mean the sky is falling, right? You as a gamer, we as gamers will always have something to play, and Game Pass is continuing to facilitate that for us, right? You and I were having a conversation a couple of days ago, and I brought this up to you, and it dovetails to this conversation we're having here perfectly. I am of the school of thought these days, and it's good that I'm bringing this up, because we just talked about, we talked about all the stuff we saw, and many of the stuff we saw, as you also have already covered, is going to come to Game Pass. Many of the stuff we saw at Gamescom literally represents Microsoft amazingly, right? They weren't even there, and all this stuff, this is coming to Game Pass. Liza P coming to Game Pass. Yeah. This is coming, that's coming, right? Most folks don't know that they held 2 days after that original show.
Yep.
They held a almost 7-hour live stream, right? What did you see there? You got to see more videos. I think they showed a bit
in
more
depth on a lot of the big games, dude.
Big
like
games,
Life of P, they showed High on Life.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they also IGN and a few others also did something similar. So if you right now, and this is just a PSA for those of you guys who love more gaming content, if you missed some of that, you can go to their YouTube channel right now, and you have like hours of live gameplay of developer interviews and this and that and the other thing, right? But it brings me to my point. When we talk about Microsoft in the first party realm, it's always like, where's Matt Booty? Where's the first party games? Why are there no calendar releases this year? What's going on? You may be on the side of, they have management issues, or you may be on the side of, calm down. Games are hard to bake. We're still in the end of a pandemic. Relax. But I think we can all agree that the conversation of their management capabilities comes up way too often. Whether you're on one side or the other, the question of, hey, why are they not doing it? The management question comes up a lot, right? And when it does, then this deliberation of back and forth happens. In my humble opinion, it seems that they go to every one of these shows. They're at TGS, they're at PAX, they're here, they're there. And sometimes they come loaded up for bear with amazing content to show. And other times they show up and they got nothing. And they talk a long time and you see nothing new.
Very true.
And to me, it seems that the more and more they show up with not much to move the ball forward, the more it reminds people, hey, you guys don't really do well with this closing of game stuff. Hey, you guys don't really release games on time. Hey, where are your... It's like they themselves are keeping that conversation alive by coming to all these various events with not much to show, especially in this instance, where if you look at Gamescom painted a great picture for Microsoft. They didn't even need to do a live stream.
And you know what's funny? Everyone went into this expecting nothing. Absolutely nothing from Microsoft.
That's why this show was so amazing, because we walked in expecting trash and we got, gold in comparison.
Right? We got gold. We did.
Yeah.
Well, look.
So what do you think of that? Yeah. Am I wrong? I know that Everborn's gonna be like, oh, stop it.
No,
honestly, personally,
stop it.
See, there you go. I personally think that if and when you see Xbox show up, they should be showing up with some real things to excite you. And if they don't have that real tangible, if they have to come with what do you call it, Aaron Greenberg to tell you to temper your expectation, then maybe don't show up at the show. What do you think?
Well, look, there's a lot to be said about that. I understand that there's this idea that they want to be everywhere. And I as a gamer appreciate that, because that means that they want to keep Xbox in the minds of the masses. They want to go to a region where maybe they are number 3 and they want to show something that's going to make people get excited and then start moving towards taking over leadership of that region, like they're doing here in the United States right now with 3 consecutive quarters of beating out PlayStation, right? The problem is that sometimes just being there and rehashing stuff that we've already seen is not the best answer. I think that they have literally, I mean, we know that they have right now well over 50 projects in development at first party. 50, right? We know that there's a lot of deals, like for instance, a perfect example of coming in and completely pulling the rug out from under the industry is what they did at Gamescom. They showed more High on Life, which is probably going to be in many people's game of the year. The game is unbelievably gorgeous.
It's a great game,
but it is one of those games that if you have kids, you have to wear headphones because the cursing is not to be believed.
Oh boy. And it looks good enough to where they'll want to watch it.
They'll want to play it because, and you're gonna be like, we can't. You can't play this because you're stabbing everybody and everything, so it's not good. But like for instance, the big surprise.
I love what he says. I'm gonna stab you so much. I'm gonna stab you.
The biggest surprise of the show, Lies of P. Yes. Which traditionally would be a Sony exclusive.
Oh, heck yeah.
And somehow Microsoft got in there. Got in there. You know what I'm still hoping for? The Black Myth Wukong. I'm hoping that whoever brokered this Lies of P deal and the Ninja Gaiden team, Team Ninja's game coming to Game Pass day and date, brokers that deal. Goes out and locks that up as whether it's a full-on exclusive or just into Xbox Game Pass. They need to go drop the bag over at that because that Wukong looks amazing.
Absolutely.
So here's my scenario, and this is one that all the stars would have to align for it to happen, right? As it stands right now, Microsoft's first party is just nothing short of Pentiment and maybe Age of Empires, because I know they have their anniversary coming up, so maybe it's.
And a lot of people are speaking so highly of Pentiment who've gotten a chance to play it.
A lot of people listen, it's one of those games that I think that even though when we first saw it, you had Mag go, "Oh no, live on the air.
What is this?"
But think about this, guys and gals. We're coming up on a year that Microsoft's last 4 months, September, October, November, December, are loaded with Game Pass in a way that we couldn't have imagined. Like what they're releasing in that 4 month block could have been doled out for the entire year, and we could be satisfied.
For sure, yeah.
But here is the scenario that I'm referring to. You asked me specifically, when do I think this deal gets done? I think, personally, it's the end of October, early November. And I'm hoping that it's done before Black Friday, because it doesn't take a lot for Microsoft to do a press briefing and say every Call of Duty from 2020 and earlier is dropping at the Game Pass with auto HDR and all the bells and whistles, and you can play multiplayer and single player, and we are now the home of Call of Duty. In that same perfect storm, the stars come together for the greatest look of all times. Is they announced that the Series S is going to be on Black Friday on sale for $200.
Yep. And especially when there are no competitors at this point, because the others are more expensive now.
That's right. And in this package, we're going to give you 2 months of Xbox Game Pass for free,
which basically means COD.
Yeah, well, that's
in addition to all these other things, right?
See, that's the point, because then if you could turn around and say they're dropping all of these games in the Game Pass for this block of the year, this quarter of the year, right? And then you turn around and you have a $200 box in a time where money is very difficult for a lot of people. And I, like I said, I don't know how many people saw my tweet. I got dogpiled on. And like I said, I got broad shoulders, so I can take it, so it doesn't really bother me. Yep. But I made a point to say that, with inflation being as much as it is, people are having a hard time putting food on the table, and I was lambasted for that because
how dare you, Boom?
I know. How dare
you be concerned for your fellow man?
For your fellow man, come on,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, even more than that. I mean, like I said, why I was lambasted is because I was actually told by people, well, if you have trouble putting food on the table, you shouldn't be gaming.
Okay.
That is
wait
that's
a
horrible
minute.
statement.
Let me address that point,
because
I hear that stupid talking point that people run with a lot. I tweeted about this, but for you're in New York, Boom, so you know who Con Ed is.
Of course I do, and they went up 15% right here in Westchester. PS, by the way,
you know that there's a reason that the first part of their name is Con.
Yeah, right? Absolutely, 100%.
My light bill for 1 month, $1,309.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Right now, luckily, right, I'm at the moment doing well for myself, so it is what it is, right? But if one day, God forbid, money ever got tight, knock on wood, right? Gaming is going to be the first thing that gets cut out. So when we complain about these prices, it is because we love the hobby and we don't want to potentially be priced out of the market in the future. All of this, go do something else. This is why things that we don't like don't change. And again, you never see this anywhere else. You're allowed to complain about a higher price on something. Obviously, you're going to buy what you see value in. That's why that's a straw man argument.
Yep.
Right? It's just like, hey, straw man, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Or if you can't afford it, you have other problems. Don't worry about gaming. Yeah, obviously.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the world
it's
where gamers want to game
from dealing with the price.
With the issue
and why can't you tell a multi-billion-dollar corporation that you don't like something they're doing? Why do we have to be the human shields for these corporations that don't care about you? They're not going to call you on your birthday. They're not going to come visit you in the hospital when you get COVID.
Actually, they will call you on your birthday. It's an automated email.
They're going to call you and send you a bill. That's what they're going to call you. They don't have bill collectors call you. So again, who cares if you have some shit to talk about a corporation that doesn't know you exist? So what? The price went up. I have the same attitude about the price going up on a video game that I have when I went to go see Dragon Ball Super in New Rock. $55, Boom.
Wow.
At New Rock for 2 tickets. $55. It was 4DX, but still. It was 40X, but still. $55, 2 movie tickets. I wasn't happy about it. And everybody else, you know what you guys just said? You said, wow, that's expensive. You didn't say, well, macroeconomics dictates that
we know who those people are, and they're just dumb. Sorry.
Is the reason. No,
you are on the same everyone. You were in the same space as I was yesterday, listening to all of that.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. You know what? It's
what is wrong with these people?
It's a shame.
If you went and you had to buy a new microwave, and the price went up, are you going to be concerned what GE's quarterly results look like, or are you going to say no? I'm a goddamn customer, and since the beginning of time, with before. We had currency and we were bartering goats and gold and cloth and things like that. The person who is selling something tries to get the most they can for giving you the least they can. Right. And the person who's buying something tries to get the most they can for as little money as they have to put out. That is just the beginning of any trade system. But somehow, because we got to protect the plastic boxes, we got to get in our feelings because people are mad at the corporation. Why? Because corporations have had your best interest in mind, and they've always had that?
You're right. No, you're right. Yeah.
The corporation is going to charge you whatever they can get out of you. So when you say, charge me more, I'm happy for it, you know what they're going to do?
And charge
Shocker. they're going to charge you more.
Indeed.
So how about,
speaking of that,
hold on one second. How about, instead of telling me to shut up and don't buy it, how about you bend over for them and you buy it and you shut up and you let me complain, so
and you keep
in case we want to
complain.
get a better price for other people.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. No. We hey now. It is not the Gaming Circle podcast without a patent pending Everborn Saga rant. I appreciate you, sir. Well, absolutely, 100%.
I'm sweating now, by the way.
That's why I started. I'm like, where's my popcorn? I need some popcorn. That would work better. I need some popcorn. Anyway, on the topic of price hikes, and of course we had to get into it. So here we are. PlayStation's hiking their prices. Which let's take a quick moment to discuss how crazy of a world we live in. Because a week before we were like, head scratch. Have we ever seen a piece of hardware come out for a set amount of time and then increase?
And never in the history of gaming.
And then Meta went, oh, well, we have this VR headset and it's amazing. And And the first thing I said, and you can check my tweets, first thing I said when I saw that was, oh boy, Meta, and you know what? Screw that. Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm gonna call him Facebook. I'm gonna call him Facebook. Facebook knows something about what that PSVR 2 is gonna cost more than we do. Check my tweets. First thing I said. If
it's $500, dude. It's $500.
That's the thing. The day after, it was the morning, like in the afternoon. The Quest announcement came in the morning. PlayStation showed off that hardware they had, and it was like, ooh, interesting. Clearly, in the VR space,
coming early 2023. That's what the
is the game,
was.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. In the VR space, the PSVR 2 is the next big thing. So that's what everybody's looking out for. As soon as they announced the specs, of course, showing the specs, of course, not announcing any pricing, Meta comes out and increases their price. I'm like, they know something about how much this hardware is going to cost. I put that out there, and then it kind of went into the ether. And here we are, PlayStation 5 prices increasing.
By $50.
I want to add something about the price.
Go ahead, everyone.
And Gabe is asking this in the chat, so let me address that. It is being raised in countries outside of the U.S. I think there's several reasons for that. And I'm some people say, well, they're hit hardest because of the Forex in the United States has a stronger dollar. I think that's a straw man argument. I do think competition is stiff, and they've been outsold, at least if Satya Nadella is to be believed, for the last 3 quarters in the U.S. So it would just what do you call it? VG charts just showed that finally PlayStation got one this month, but they'd been consecutively losing in USA for like 3 or 4 months. I've heard some argument that maybe Sony had to pay to get more inventory, because this is a matter of who can secure
more inventory. Of course.
And so they were able to do that, and now they're passing that cost on to the customer. I've heard someone say that. Yeah. My point is this: I don't know that we have to take it to a level of, well, because we're not privy to their books. We don't know what foreign exchange could be a thing of it. And I know people are saying they announced that they were profitable last year. That was last year. And, right now I just ordered, me and the missus ordered another Tesla for her, for when her lease is up next year. And you cannot get a Tesla right now until April. That's the earliest I can get a Model Y right now. Next year, April. You know why? Because of the chip shortage.
Yep.
Right?
And when you do get your Tesla, you're not paying MSRP. You're paying quite a hefty premium on top of MSRP.
Right.
Because of reasons.
Guess what? I don't care. I know I'm paying more, and that upsets me. Right? So, but I'm saying that to say they very well could be taking a bath. But the argument is...
And Gabe, let's be real. It's not a slight flex. It is a flex, wholeheartedly. I'm sorry, bro.
I'm just saying things are backed up. I'm just saying things are backed up. But the point is, the question is, should they eat the cost? Right?
Yes.
Now, can anyone? Let's assume that because this is what everybody was saying. I know it's different in different regions, but they say it averages out if you look at all of them, to about $30 more.
Yeah, $34 more.
Right. Depending. So how many PS5s do we think they can ship in a quarter?
1.5 million, 2 million at best. Yeah.
Okay, so
an extra
I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna add them. I'm gonna give them 3 million in a quarter. Okay. Right. So 3 million times 30 is $90 million. Right. So their profits last quarter, even being down 37%, this is net income after all their expenses, was upwards of $900 million. Right? Mm-hmm. You're telling me they couldn't eat 90 million, and it's not even probably going to be that high because they're not going to sell 3 million units?
Well, but you know what's going on, man. Like, they have trained, and we say this all the time on this show, they train consumers to know what to expect, right? This is a move you'd expect from Microsoft, right? This is not a move you'd expect, them eating the cost, I mean. That's not a move you expect from Sony.
No. It is a move I'd expect from Sony because everybody eats the cost and you make it up on the software sales. So again,
Nintendo says, hold my beer.
Sure, but Nintendo's also selling like 7-year-old hardware. The point is,
and now price is also going up, and you know why that is?
But they're already made their margins are so high on that
their margins are so high on it, and the reason why the prices are going up is because Nvidia wants to stop making the Tegra 1s. But because Switch keeps using them, they have no choice but to keep making old tech.
Lucius Augustus says they plan on selling 4.5 million per quarter.
Per quarter, okay.
They're not going to hit that number, right? No, that's because they're even. And I'm not saying the demand is not there, but they're competing with Microsoft to get these
and
chips.
Everybody else.
They could probably do that if they could secure all the chips that Microsoft could secure none, but that won't be the case. So,
and they're not only competing with Microsoft, they're competing with Tesla. They're competing with everybody. So yeah, it's not going to happen.
Right. So I say all this to say, you're telling me with all even with profits down that they couldn't eat a $90 billion cost, because that's what this is effectively going to work out.
Yep. 100%.
And the fact is that they can, and they're raising these prices so that in markets where they are very strong and it won't impact. So they're basically, if you're not in the US, you're subsidizing whatever they're losing in the US.
So basically they kind of dug through and found that the console warriors are out there. So they're going to make them pay more because, at the end of the day, even though they're paying more, they'll get on a call and they'll try to justify it. and shout out to JMO Money. He's saying, but Everborn, the price in India went up by 8% on the
Can
Xbox.
you imagine the Googling that these mother effers had to do to go find some damage control information like that?
Let's be clear here. It's exchange rates. That's why it went up.
Yeah, it didn't go up because Microsoft actually came out and made a change. Actually, Xbox India made a statement saying that it was just the exchange rates, not Xbox raising the price.
That's right. So it's not like Microsoft went, okay, we're going to charge you more now, and that's what trickled down to India. No, the exchange rate that converts from country to country equaled 8% more in India than anywhere else. So they had to make the numbers work in order to do so. Could they have eaten that cost? Sure, probably. I guess they could. But this is not officially them going, hey, we're raising the price on 2-year-old hardware. They didn't do that.
You know what I want to bring? What evidence I want to bring to the table before I get on out of here, because I got to go do something with Mrs. Boom.
Oh, yeah, no worries,
man. I pulled an article from The Verge.
Okay.
Which was written by Tom Warren, who has actually been stopping by Breakfast with Boom, which is super cool. So, Tom, awesome. If you're listening, thank you for stopping by. This was written August 4th, 2021. That's right, a year ago. And according, the headline is here. Sony's $499 PlayStation 5 no longer selling at a loss. That's right. They have confirmed that every PlayStation 5 that they sell is making a profit. This is from a year ago, and this information came to us when at the same time they announced that they had sold 10 million copies. So think about this for a second. 10 million consoles. From that time, which was August 4th of 2021, to now, which is August 27th of 2022, a little over a year and a couple of days, they have sold over 12 million PlayStation 5s at a profit. Think about that for a second. And then on top of profiting over 12 million, just do the math yourself of what the profit was, they're still raising it by $50. You know what that's called? Corporate greed. Anyone defending this, you know what? You need to have your head examined.
Even the staunchest PlayStation heads out there, you know, we've seen Bad Bit online, we've seen BitCloud online. People are like, they are out there yelling into the ether against their own side, if you will, saying, what's wrong with you people? Why are you doing the corporation's work for them? There is no reason for this to be justifiable. And I've heard people go, oh, we don't care what people play in Japan or what somebody's playing in Europe. I don't care what somebody's paying for in Germany. I'm sorry. If you want to be that selfish dude, that's you, right? I've lived in a lot of places, including Germany, including the Netherlands. I've lived in Canada. I've lived in a bunch of different places. This is screwed up no matter where you live. And we as gamers should always be able to hand in hand, right? As Phil Spencer says, I should be able to blow your head off in COD on my Xbox as you have your PS5. We are gamers. We play games together. And this is dividing us up. And this is making it more difficult for some to find it than us. I have a Quest 2 sitting right here. I have a bunch of headsets, but I still feel bad that all of a sudden now anybody who wants to buy a Quest 2 has to pay $100 more. Ridiculous. And if I speak on it, others want to say, well, you know, just shut up. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I just don't understand that concept. It just, the whole thing is just weird to me. It's just so weird to me. So I guess I'll bring this to you, Everborn Saga. Do you think
let me before you do that, let me just get on that here because I definitely run.
Please,
yeah. So
please,
I just want to say thank you for inviting us.
Awesome.
Inviting me to pop in here, say hello to everyone.
Man,
a big happy Saturday to the chat that's listening. Over 60 people are here. Hit the like button. Mrs. Boomstick and I just want to relay a message. This week, this 5-day span of podcasting that we did for the channel equated to 25,000 plus views. It's the most that we've ever done in one 5-day span. There was a lot to talk about, but we wouldn't have these numbers if it wasn't for you. So we want to say a big thank you to everyone that supports the channel. Everborn, Kayasante, continue to hit the like button on them, sub their channels. We want to get them past 1K this year. And be safe and have an awesome Saturday, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Boom. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for jumping in. Mr. Boomstick, everybody. Whenever you feel like it, bro, you know where it is. Just say, hey,
thank you very
I'm in
much,
here,
guys.
And you're on.
Talk to you
Thank
later.
You so much. Talk to you guys later.
Tell Mrs. Boom happy Saturday also.
I certainly will, brother. Thank you. All right, guys. Take care.
Take care. So,
to answer your question, Negatron, the answer is yes. You asked Boom a question. I'll answer for him.
Okay. I want to ask you something, Boom, Everborn. But before I do, please, as Boom has said, thank you so much. And if you're not following him, please do. Come on. Why would you be following us if you're not following him? He is the man who's out here speaking games and making sure we all enjoy ourselves and have entertainment, even during the week when some of us have to work. So please continue to support that man, and we appreciate him for being here. Also, please, hit the like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. We're getting close. We appreciate all that support.
As soon as that Activision deal goes through on my birthday, December 16th.
On your birthday. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think it goes through in December.
Yep.
That's what I think. Because now let's you people
I
came here
know
for the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Answer my question and then hit me with your conspiracy. In the long run, will this be more than anything but a blip on the radar for PS5?
I think I honestly consumer side of it, customer side of it is trash, but I think ultimately what's going to happen is the price is going to go up and then it'll come back down in a year or so as soon as they can, because it's going to look really bad. And I wouldn't put it past Microsoft, because especially if their attach rate goes up and Game Pass goes up and they have that sustained revenue, and then COD is in there and they're making money from COD on PC and PlayStation. I wouldn't put it past Microsoft taking the hit and lowering the price.
Please. Give me a Series S for $199 right
now.
now.
I think they'll go $249, right?
They've kind of already gone 240. You see it for 249 everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm saying Microsoft will
like
put it
officially
on
MSRP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and they'll do it temporarily in the holiday moments when it matters, like the big sales times. You know what I'm saying? So like,
imagine, just imagine, Black Friday deal, $199 with maybe $199 with maybe a month of Game Pass.
I think you have another 2 years before you get that. I think,
you think so?
Yes, I think this holiday is.
Yeah, I think the chip shortage is difficult to justify adding that extra 50. But yeah, I see you.
But so the point that I'm making is it's gonna look real bad if Sony loses those COD marketing rights, and then, like you said, Call of Duty's on the box, and they are $100 more expensive, right? Because Microsoft could drop $50 off the price around the world and be associated with COD. So I think Sony is going to bring the price back down as soon as they can. Yes, this is a real shirt, and I recommend you all buy it.
I'm just as we talk, I want to remind people that this exists.
So, and if Microsoft really wanted to hit Sony while their pants were down, pause, on top of a $50 price cut, they would kill the Xbox Live fee, and they can do that if they have enough people in Ultimate, which they will probably get once they have COD in there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, absolutely.
So it becomes a real precarious predicament that Sony is in. So I suspect they're gonna lower the price to become more competitive as soon as they can, because again, they can do this in these other markets because they're synonymous with gaming. So people just say, listen,
that's where the Warriors live.
Right?
That's where the Warriors live, indeed. Yes. So whether they like it or not,
Well, I mean, Microsoft has anyway. So that's one thing. Now, onto the conspiracy theory.
Please.
We talked about Phil doing that interview, right? Do you think there's any coincidence that Phil drops this Bloomberg interview the day before the Sony price hike?
So, okay, and I'm going to pull a Lord Cognito on here. Are you implying that Phil Spencer knew, or Phil Spencer and his organization were briefed or knew ahead of time?
And his double agents and spies knew? Yes, that's exactly what I'm implying.
So you're thinking that Phil got the word, they're about to double the price, which, not double, but they're about to increase the price, which in hindsight, as outlandish and as crazy as it sounds, it kind of was televised, or telegraphed a bit, wasn't it? Right? Remember when the PS5s came out, you were not able to find the all digital edition anywhere. You and I basically said, yeah, that all digital edition was just made so they can say it's at 400. It's at 400, right?
Right. They didn't want to sell that to you.
Yeah, they don't want to sell that to you because it's too much of a wash when they sell it to you. So they want to sell the higher end one to you because they make more money there.
And there's people making this argument that like, oh, if you get the digital, that means you're buying all digital games. People are buying all digital games anyway.
True. Even if you buy a physical game, it's all digital. That's what it is. You're literally just they put that hex code on the disc. Yeah, it may have gone gold. The minute you literally hit download,
I'm saying the percentage of people that are buying physical discs is drastically decreasing. So it's not as much of a boon as some people would make that out to be. Well, so they are losing more money on the disc version, because remember, Sony doesn't have to pay royalties for Blu-ray, right?
True. Yeah, because they own it.
Right.
It is theirs. That's right.
So for them,
I love what Fuzzy's saying here. The call was made from inside the house.
Right. So now here's another thing. Let's take the conspiracy theory to another level. You know, this is a big $70 billion deal. It's a lot of money on the line. A lot of people trying to get paid. Anything could happen. I think somebody could literally get murdered off that $70 billion.
And they would bury the body because it's $70 billion.
People and corporations have murdered people for less. That's all I'm saying. And so has the federal government.
Yeah.
The tinfoil hat's really on now, right?
You just can't see it.
Who is to say, and I know this is a topic coming up, but maybe this is a good segue. Who's to say Microsoft didn't leak the Amazon potentially purchasing EA news only for it to be debunked, but to scare everybody into thinking, hey, the big other tech players are actually in this thing, and that's our real competition, and we're just all friends, and we're the white knights of the traditional gaming industry.
I mean, see, now you got Negatron and you got Beast Mode already laughing at you. I mean, I hear where
sometimes you laugh when you realize something is true. That's all I'm saying.
I hear where you're going with it, but for that purpose, they already had the ammunition they needed, right? What did Sony do? Sony bought a bunch of studios this year.
Not comparable.
No, of course it's not comparable. Of course it's not comparable because they don't have the pockets. But just because you don't have the pockets doesn't mean you don't have the willingness to go out there and be aggressive and do so.
Again,
they can literally use that argument in court and go, look, this is our direct competitor. Yes, it's true they don't have the resources, but they are the market leader. Look what they're doing. We must purchase to compete.
Again,
they don't need
all I'm saying is they are 20 times the size of Sony, right?
And by the way, just so we understand, and we're talking about this too as well, but just so we understand, and people can go dig through this story later by themselves, but it was an analyst that basically, like, I'm not sure, it was a business
That is
analyst.
exactly who you would leak something like this to if you were Microsoft. It's from like the horse's mouth.
And you think that analyst wouldn't then go, well, I'm sorry, but Brad Smith told me it was going to happen.
The analyst wouldn't, because the analyst is on board and already in pocket. This is $70 billion on the line in a $2 trillion company. These are not nice people. You can't trust them. Listen, all I am saying is the only other way to attack this, you can't attack it on the basis of the workers, because the literal CWA union came out and recommended the deal. You cannot attack it in terms of increasing prices on customers, because Sony's whole argument is that they're lowering prices, the barrier of entry for games.
So let me say this. Hold on. No, this is important. This is far more important. If you're going to tinfoil hat and you're going to lose your mind, turn on your cam, good sir, because they want something to laugh at.
Well, what's going on here?
There you go. Continue, sir.
The thing is, right?
Yes.
If you're going to block the deal, it can't be on the basis of the workers, because they've agreed to acknowledge unions.
That's already been
union has come out in their favor. Yep. If you want to block the deal in terms of a monopoly, we know that there are many other larger players and there'll still be third place. If you want to attack the deal based on services, we know that PlayStation Plus has 50 million subs, right? You can attack the deal if you try to make Microsoft look like the $2 trillion company, right?
Continue.
if you want to make Microsoft the big tech company that is using their vast resources to bully their way around in this industry. But it doesn't look like that if another giant tech company whom the FTC literally hates, just embarrassed them when they bought
MGM Studios,
and who Lena Khan, the chair of the FTC, literally wrote her thesis paper on. How about scare them into thinking, look, Amazon, everybody hates them, right?
The monster's coming
into this market. You better let us come save it.
Oh, God.
And now everybody's thinking. Everybody was gnashing teeth and ripping off clothes yesterday morning when they thought this thing was real. And everybody's like, damn, I guess Microsoft wasn't really competing with Sony. And now the thought, that's how Inception works. You saw the movie.
Mm-hmm. They put the thought into your head. Now you made your own idea. This is your idea.
So again, who's to say that this is not all connected? I don't think Phil came out for no reason. These are shadow tactics, which are not beyond the CEOs. I think he's trying to say, even if I find them amusing. Exactly. Everybody sees it. You don't want to see it.
I'll say you this. As outlandish as this is, right? On this point of scaring everyone with Amazon, the boogeyman that is Amazon, I see your point. Because let's be real. The reason why the FTC is what they are today is specifically to battle Amazon and Facebook. They are the reasons why the FTC is as militant as they've become. So the minute you scare them with anything Amazon, they're like, yes, they're ready for war. I hate you.
And then Microsoft can say, listen, let us be the template. We're acknowledging unions. We're lowering price for customers. So we can be the knight in shining armor by which you can set a standard for how these big tech companies operate.
And ladies and gentlemen, you do see Everborn is so far afield. He is so like far gone in expertise of the whole game and reading of the tea leaves and
if
all
I
of the
turn the camera,
tinfoil hats.
You'll see my dartboard with all the post-its connecting
and the tinfoil hats. He is so good at it that he has new tinfoil hat technology that's just wireless. You can't even see this thing, but it's still there. It's on top of his head. You just don't even see it. You don't even see it. But I hear you, brother.
You don't understand it, man. Everybody laughs until it's too late.
The only thing, like in all seriousness, the only thing that makes me pause about this whole Amazon thing is Amazon has not seemed like a good fit for EA because they're very sports driven, and Amazon has not really been that right. Even their few toes into the water of gaming has been MMOs, has been, they've diversified their genre a bit. They haven't really been like esport, regular sport kind of they don't seem like they had those aspirations. So that's why it made me go, EA has really like made themselves into the sports franchise, the sports brand. Would Amazon have use of that beyond the the Star Wars franchises and all the other things that they do? That seems to be a remnant of the past that we enjoy, while all the sports is printing them money. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part of the house that made me go, would Amazon really want to take on all these licensing costs and all this stuff with FIFA? Well, not anymore FIFA, but like the NFL.
But Amazon is streaming, as Fuzzy Belvedere says. I think it was Fuzzy Belvedere. No, who said it? Somebody said it, but Amazon is streaming the NFL this year.
Gabe. True.
That was
okay.
Gabe that said that.
Okay.
And does Amazon like money?
Oh,
do those sports games print money?
Well, but you and I both know that those sports games, yes, they print money, but those licensing costs can also be hairy, right? So as much money as they print, their revenue doesn't really equate that much. It's the same thing. Sports games with a lot of licensing, like racing games that have a lot of those in it. Yeah, they can potentially pull in a lot, but you pay a lot of licensing costs as well, right? So that's why you see Take-Two and all these other companies.
You could bundle with the streaming rights.
True. That is a side of the house that Amazon has, and of course more Twitch and everything else like that. That is the side of the house that you definitely could see them play in, that would give them an upper hand. So that's why that part of the sports part of it is where I was just kind of like, EA with Amazon, I'm not sure. I would think Ubisoft before EA in Amazon. Like I would think Ubisoft.
Tencent's going to get Ubisoft.
You really think so? Because of all the small dribs and jab purchases they're doing in the background?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, this has been an interesting conversation. We're about 2 hours and 30 minutes in. I really wanted to get your opinion on all of this stuff. This EA stuff it's been kind of coming for a long time, and it's still not here yet. Every week there's a new rumor. Ultimately we will have to wait and see who ultimately gets away with this whole EA purchase. But clearly, if nothing else, this is the second rumor of somebody buying EA. I think they're the ones on the chopping block next. No, definitely being purchased. It's just who will end up having them at this point, since every week it seems like a new suitor is talking about. I mean, even in this article, and shout out to Lognet, they point out that Disney was talking to them, Amazon, Apple's been talking to them. A lot of folks have been talking to them.
I want to give everybody some advice here.
Yeah.
When it comes to acquisition rumors,
if the first time you're hearing of it is not from the horse's mouth of these companies actually being acquired, it's not going to happen. Nope. And point me to a time. There were people that guessed certain things would happen, but those were strictly guesses, right?
Sure,
no one at a high enough level to know whether something is happening definitively is going to tell anyone, because that could risk the deal and billions of dollars are on the line. So don't think that anybody is going to tell a YouTuber that they're buying a place and that will be actual information that you can take.
I like how he just likes to just twist the net. Ain't nobody going to tell a YouTuber.
I'm just saying, like, don't.
$70 billion.
There are no such thing as rumors when it comes to these things. Even when they report it on the news, once it's reported, that changes the equation, because people leak these things to get different to take the temperature on what people will think of the deal and try to change the price. And once you start doing that,
crazy Beast Mode's point here, fall absolutely apart. Crazy. So there were nearly 2 weeks. There were just weeks of completing it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Anything can happen. So once it's in the public and the public does what it does, it usually kills the deal, right? So unless you're hearing an official announcement and it's coming from Bloomberg saying that that this thing is happening and the CEOs are saying it.
Oh, you mean officially happen. From Bloomberg telling you that that Sonic is the home of Microsoft? Huh?
And Sarabon didn't make it no better.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, look at what Live Supremacy is talking about here. And not Take-Two wants the Tencent wants Take-Two.
Crazy. I'm sure they do.
Crazy.
It's a lot of stuff.
Imagine that world. Whew. Absolutely crazy. But okay. Let's finish this episode out. We have had an amazing conversation. There is just so much to talk about, and we missed a bunch of games that I would still want to talk about. Some of the games that we saw, some of the games that are absolutely exciting that we never really got a chance to deep dive into. But we want to leave some more time so you can go check out the rest of Living Split Screen. So it has been an awesome episode. Thank you, Mr. Everborn Saga, as usual, for being here with me, for keeping the slander high, keeping the conspiracy theories flowing. People appreciate you, sir.
For more than 2 hours.
For more than 2. Well, we try. We try, man. We try.
Do we though? Do we try?
We try the best we can. Tell the fine people where they can find you this week. What more you got to show them? Are we going to see more of the Everborn Saga beat 'em up? What's going on there?
We are going to see more. I'm literally right now waiting on some animation to come in. I mean, if I could show them the AI that I implemented recently and show them the difference if they want to see that stuff. I don't know if they
you got it on hand, let's go. All right, but you're the one who said it's 3 hours. Let's go.
The piss is already in the pool. You can't get it out. So
okay. So just make sure you don't drink the pool. It's fine.
All right. Let's see what I can do.
So while Everborn Saga shares with us what he's been working on, you can find me, K Asante, TKO Asante, Xbox, PlayStation, all the places you can find me. Right. We as usual, we're heading towards that 1,000 subscriber landmark, and we look like we might be able to hit it. Let's see what Everborn's showing on screen. Here's some real, definitive show how the sausage is made background stuff. For my audio listeners, we're showing Everborn showing us some of the game that he's been putting together.
And I need everyone to understand that all of these are temporary assets. Don't look at the frame rate. Don't even look at this start screen.
It will all look terrible for now because he's building. It's all the background right now. That's what we're building. He's literally just building the bones of a beat 'em up before he starts putting the proper assets, proper graphic assets in place so that it looks the part. Right now, it's got to feel the part. And then after that, you put the actual stuff in there. So yeah, this is not a world premiere there, Beast Mode.
No, this is definitely not.
This is a quiet background piece of work that he's just been working on AI,
combo system, all those things. And I'm gonna take. So right now, you'll notice that the enemies aren't. I probably should have showed the way it was before, so they could understand what's happening in the background with this AI we set up. So now I've got my combo system ready.
And Hey, no joke. What are you talking about, joke? Lord Negatron's asking, will this be on Game Pass?
I'm trying to get the bag.
So.
I've talked to some people from Xbox that are waiting for me to show them something.
Give them the bag, baby. What's good? We want to see.
So now, I want to show you what would happen if I pre these changes that I just added. You saw the enemies were kind of separated.
So this is what it looked like before the update recently.
All right, let me see if I can find the resources.
Arodimus says Arabic Streets of Rage. Kinda, yeah.
I like to say African, Arabic, all those things. It's like a mix.
It's good. It works.
We can go with that. All right, resources. Here we go. So
now all we need is some voice actors going, I cannot get jiggy with this. Come on. Kick, fight.
Okay, so now if I disable this,
should see the new render.
Sure. But I may have to just remove it completely, which I don't want to do. Oh yeah. All right. Let me try that one more time.
But yes, as this continues, and this is a long road.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because then I'm gonna have to put this back, and it's gonna put.
No worries.
The point is, the enemies used to bunch up all together because they were all walking towards you.
Used to be able to punch one and 15 of them go flying, and now they're coming after you.
Separated and things like that.
That's right. And you told me as the game progresses and you're getting closer and closer to your release date, you will start having more people be able to play this, right? You'll be able to get in the hands of people to play. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. We're being asked, is this Visual Studio your IDE?
Yes, I'm using Visual Studio, but this is Unity that we're looking at. Now you can see what the high-res character will look like versus the pixelated one that was there. So I can turn that back on and see it. See the difference.
So low-res versus high. Okay.
But you actually don't notice this that much when it's on a smaller screen. This is when you're watching it on your 4K joint. So
yes, this is riveting audio, by the way, for our audio listeners.
Absolutely.
We're being asked, are you working on this alone? If I'm not mistaken, the Everborn Saga team that helps you create the book.
Yes,
they're also doing the art here, right?
Yes, and we have an animator that has worked in the industry that's going to give us some of these animations. So we'll share more soon. Are we going to talk about House of the Dragon, or are we just getting out of here?
Well, we could talk. We can give a 5, not even a 5-minute small little synopsis of what we think. This is probably the end of the end of the show where we like to add on. I'd call it the on the reel minute. It ends up turning into an on the reel 5 minutes. But yeah, I've been watching She-Hulk. People say it's a bad show. I think it's terrible. You people are terrible. You have not been paying attention. She-Hulk is great. I love it. It's cheesy, just like it's supposed to be. They are going for a specific kind of thing, and I love it. I think you've been watching it too, right, Evbo?
Yeah, of course I have.
What do you think?
I have to get away from the fact that they disrespect the Hulk so much. If you are a Hulk fan, the MCU is just not the place for you right now.
Kind of makes sense, no? Wasn't there a report a long time ago that they said something to the effect of they wanted to make the Hulk look so bad that eventually they would then be able to go and ask Universal for the rights back?
I'm not talking about the Hulk right now because we'll be here for another hour. But the point is, I think if you can get away from what they're doing with the Hulk, I do think the show is interesting.
Yeah, the show is great. I think it's fun. I think it's too short. I want more.
By the way, what you're looking at here is me looking for a button, and then if that button is pressed, we'll have some rules and we'll do some things around it. So
and I said this on the show already. Game Builder Garage from Nintendo. Same idea, same concepts. They just use WYSIWYG. It's a node-on. It's a button node-on. When you want the button to do something, you tell the node-on, button B, jump the character, and then it jumps. Very interesting concept. Same idea.
between whether you're using a controller or you're using touch. So this is where I get the input, and I have some code above that will assign what the punch button is because it's mapped differently for different platforms. So I handle that above, so you can see all these things. So basically, we call this function and we give we assign this text value, and then we read that text value in the combat class. And we make decisions.
This has me thinking of an interesting idea, and maybe we should solicit the chat and see what they think. Maybe a show one day where Everborn Saga teaches me how to make this game.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I really want to start doing this live. It's just I can't do much right now because so much of the game is going to be based on the animations. And you have to do things frame by frame. Like you have to basically trigger events based on what frame of an animation you're on. And so until I get those animations, a lot of it is going to kind of be wasted work. Okay. So I'm trying to work on.
We want to do this more visual representation of the build process. You know,
yes.
it'd be cool.
But I promise you guys, for now, every week we're going to do something like this. I'm going to show you, where we are in the process. During the week, I will share images as they come in, and soon on my channel we're going to start just coding this thing together live.
Awesome.
That is the plan.
Before we go, you wanted to have a quick chat about House of the Dragon.
Yes. What did everybody in the chat think of House of the Dragon? Rodimus, yes, Unity uses C#. You can also use JavaScript with Unity, but I'm a C# Java guy, so I use
easier to use C# in Unity. It makes it more complicated if you use anything else, or you try to anyway. Anyways,
but yeah. So I was not on board for the first the first half hour of it. It really felt like they were playing dress up.
Oh wow!
I didn't like what was going on at all. I'm like, this is I like none of the. They were doing like basic generic politics stuff. None of it really worked for me. And it wasn't until the king had to make that impossible decision that everything sort of started to click.
Oh, that wasn't impossible. That was very possible, and he made it.
Well, hold on a minute. If you watch the after show, they say she was going to die no matter what.
Oh.
Or at least that's what he believed.
Okay. So he believes she was going to die no matter what. So either, okay, well, we're not going to go into it because we don't want to do spoilers. Yeah. No spoilers.
But it was either save one or save both.
Or save them both. Okay.
Sorry. Save both, or save one, or let them both die.
Or let them both die. Yeah, I get that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Okay.
So, but maybe it was a 50-50 chance. Who knows? Yeah. They don't.
I'm still like on the fence about the show. Like visually and style wise, I think honestly they've really nailed it. They're right back doing the. Oh, okay. I just noticed something that was problematic when I was playing your build. How come I can knife a dude and he comes back? That ain't cool, bro. If I knife you, you done.
No,
I tried it twice.
Throws in Streets of
No. If I knife you, you're done. If I throw a knife at you, you're done. Come on now. How can I throw a knife at you? It hits.
What if it hits the shoulder or something like that? Come on.
I'm sorry. I don't know. That just made me go.
Have you ever heard of hack and slash? You got to slash people 5,000 times before they die.
Well, okay, and another quick aside. I should not just throw my knife. I should be able to keep it. But that's okay.
I don't know that I agree with you. I don't even know if the knives are going to stay because everybody has their own kind of weapons.
Sure, yeah. Maybe you use the weapons that they have.
The whole pickup knives things were a vestige of the template that we started.
Of the template. Yeah. See this knife? You throw it at him, they won't die. Look, he'll die, he'll go down, and then come back up again.
It depends on how much life he has. It takes.
You just stabbed the homie in the knife in a face with a knife. Come on now. Anyway. All right. Do we want to have any more discussion on Unreal? Or are we done here?
No, I think that's all. I think that's it. I think that's all we got.
Okay.
But again, I really think it came into its own, and I picked up on what they were trying to do, and I kind of feel like I'm back in Westeros again. I would also like to talk about this son of a bitch, George R.R. Martin. Did you hear about this new interview he did where he said, I only met with
Benioff and Weiss once, and I gave them their notes on the ending, and then but that's not going to be my ending, so I'm going to change. So you basically set them up to fail, gave them the bad ending, and now you're saying people don't like it, and so now you're going to change the ending of the book. And nobody's mad at him, but everybody's mad at HBO.
Of course, because they've already shown you what they did with it, right? So maybe this guy can rehabilitate.
Because you didn't end it, because you didn't know how to end it. That's why we don't have the other books.
He made them the guinea pigs, basically.
That's terrible.
He basically Microsoft them. He basically put them in the front and made sure, hey, you take all the.
The man brought dark fantasy to the forefront of the world, so that so many other things can. I'm talking about Benioff and Weiss. They mainstreamed it so we could get so much more well-realized things on television.
Are you now defending Benioff and Weiss? Is that what
I was always defending them, and I was always against George R.R. Martin because he had 10 years to finish these books, and he didn't do it.
And he was busy writing Elden Ring stuff, right? Instead of finishing the damn books.
I mean, he didn't write a lot for Elden Ring, as you can see.
He just gave him some names.
Story there. Right, exactly. Also, I see Gabo talking about them canceling the Resident Evil show, and to that I say good.
Yeah, Resident Evil after the third episode, it went from this is interesting to get me out of here. It lost its way.
I was like that. The fact when I saw like she had a fully done hairdo in the Apocalypse. Which didn't make any sense to me. I was like, I am checking out.
Well, okay, that problem that you had was easily explained, but that's neither here nor there. She has a home. She has a community with people. They have shops. They have a bunch of stuff, and you learn that later. So
but she's not doing that kind of hair in the Apocalypse. I'm sorry,
bro. They have makeup. That was the whole thing. Anyway, the show ended, and it should have ended. I agree. Because it started off with a spark, it was interesting, and then it went really left really quickly. So
I don't know. It didn't work for me from episode 1.
All right. Well, I think we will end it here. We will end it here because we are almost at 3 hours at this point. We promised we'd be done at 2.5. That's what we do.
All right. Time to go, peeps.
That's right. You're the one who was like, you was clowning me, Everborn, about trying to keep this time good, and then you pushed it to 3. So here we go. All right.
Yeah, but we were at like 247 when I pushed it to 3. I just wanted to make sure I was giving people an update on the game and where we are.
No. I'm just clowning you, brother.
It's coming a long way. There's a lot of back end stuff happening. I promise you, the visuals will be 20 times better when we're done.
This is all
this visual showpiece.
It starts. Yeah, this is how it starts. And we appreciate you continuing to keep us up to date with what's going on. Hopefully soon we'll be able to start, possibly getting people in, maybe try a round yourself or something, or try building something yourself. I would love nothing more than to feature somebody in our community on this show and say, hey, this is one of us has built for themselves and wants to share it with us.
Wait, sorry. A. Rodman says no brothers and sisters having relations. As someone who has read the relevant chapters in Fire and Blood and who has read Worlds of Ice and Fire, who covers these historical events, give it time. That's all I'll say.
Oh, so no spoilers. Good. Yes. I appreciate that. That's good. So no red wedding type situation.
Give it time.
Give it time. Understood. Well, right now, if a red wedding situation happened, I wouldn't care because I don't care about any of those characters.
Right, but they have to build up to that. I'm just saying, build up to that. It's cool. People are gonna lose eyes. Some people are gonna.
Oh boy! Kids. Now he's.
Some relatives Never mind. Gonna be getting busy and getting married.
Okay. So for myself and Mr. Everborn Saga, we appreciate you guys for being here. We appreciate always, y'all always like pull up every time we have a show, talking games we've been playing, talking all the slanderous news stories and stuff. We really appreciate it. You can find Everborn Saga, everbornsaga.com, Everborn Saga on YouTube and Twitter. Go ahead.
Buy the Charge Them More shirt. I want to see you guys with this shirt. And every time you hear nonsense in the Twitter streets, just take a picture of yourself wearing the Charge Them More shirt. You don't even got to argue with people anymore.
Just
say charge them more.
Oh, look, I've arrived. You've arrived when you finally get when you finally get the hacker. What do you call it? Spam bots trying to sell porn on your stream. So
nice.
Thank you so much. I'm here now. I appreciate it.
The next level is someone making like a fake account with your face.
With your face on it. That's right. That's right. And then before long, we're gonna be like talking about manscaping and ball cream and whatnot. But no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It will be funny when we do though. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, so for myself and Mr. Everborn Saga, it's been an awesome show chatting games with y'all. You know where to find us if you want to continue the conversation. We are out here in these streets and we're always ready to talk with you guys, talk games and more things. Please, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, all those places. For Everborn and for myself, it's been a great conversation. We always appreciate all you guys pulling up. Again, we're heading to Mission 1000. So if you're able to subscribe, please do so. If you're able to hit that like button, please do so. Please share this out. Let folks know where we are. Let folks know what we're doing so that, we continue to grow this and a lot more people get to see it. But until next week, we really appreciate all the conversation and the fun we've had here. For myself and Mr. Everborn Developer, we will see y'all next week. Have a good weekend.